All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour one of Jon and Jim. We've got a good show lined up for you over the next 3 hours. Cynthia Freeland from the NFL Network will join us in the 5 o'clock hour. We do have free NFL and college picks for our listeners with Chris Hodge from Taking Vegas in the 4 o'clock hour. Plus, we do have a 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld's Howl O Scream. I do want to share something with you coming up in like 15 minutes. I don't want to start the show with it, but I was watching something last night with Kristen that completely blew my mind that I'm going to share with you in 15 minutes. Wrestling related. Okay, that's the tease.
Wait, you're watching a wrestling show?
The Vince McMahon, Mr. McMahon Netflix documentary.
How did you start watching that?
Kristen absolutely loves it. And I've been along for the ride. She just likes like the storylines, I guess, not the wrestling, but like just the story of this dude's stuff. Life.
Okay,
so I have a question for you that I need you to answer.
I can't wait for a wrestling question from John Schaefer.
That makes a lot of sense now.
It doesn't make sense that
I saw the thing in the rundown. It's like, what the hell is that?
Yes. Okay. So I'll ask that in 15 minutes. Now, we had Kevin Acee yesterday. We spent a decent portion of yesterday's show talking about, well, you can't keep all these players that are maybe up for extensions. And we talked about Luis Arraez coming off a really nice year. I mean, he led the National League in hitting again. But you can't have everyone, whether it's Arraez or Michael King or Jurickson Profar or wherever we went yesterday. And then I'm thinking back, and we both thought the same thing. Kevin Acee yesterday, when he joined us in the 5 o'clock hour, had something really interesting to say about Luis Arraez and his value to the organization. This was Kevin Acee yesterday on Jon and Jim.
I haven't talked to anyone about this specific idea on Luis Arraez. I have talked to people about how 13, 14, 15 million for 1 year is just too much. And so is there a deal to be done on Luis Arraez? I think it's probably the only way that he stays, I would think, because I just don't see 13, 14, 15 million for that guy. As much as they love him, as much as they said those things, I just don't think that's real. And then, like, in terms of it's real, like, hey, he's the most important thing to our offense. No, he's not. So that's just a lot of money.
So I think we touched on it, Jim, briefly yesterday. We're like, okay, well, 13, 14, 15 for 1 year is maybe too much. But he was saying, well, maybe in an extension, you could get him for less than that per year. So if he's at like 10, 11, 12 per year, okay, maybe it make more sense. But a 1 year arbitration eligible $15 million Luis Arraez for 2025, he didn't sound like that was potentially the organization's priority or they'd have money for it.
And then that would put in question, all right, if they can't get a long-term deal done or they don't want to get a long-term deal done.
So you move them.
And they don't want to spend, which the number in arbitration would probably be around 15.
I think it would be, yeah. Seriously, it's probably around 15.
Because you make 11 this year.
Yeah, it'll be around 15.
The obvious bump is that. And he's a 3-time batting champion. So he's got that on his record.
Yeah.
And the Padres, they don't go to arbitration. They always get deal done. They've never gone. AJ Preller I don't believe he's ever gone to arbitration.
I think you're right.
So they always get deals done. But if what Kevin's saying is true there, and that he's heard from people that, hey, look, 14, 15, maybe 16 million on a 1 year deal before he becomes a free agent, like, I don't know if they want to do that, especially with all the other needs they have on this team. Left field. Pitching is the number one priority this offseason with the loss of Joe for next year. Still need a catcher. They need potentially a first baseman. They need bench pieces. Back end of the bullpen help with Tanner Scott, leaving for free agency and not returning because he's going to get a boatload of money in free agency. I'm sitting here today and yeah, it's only October 17th, but anytime I think about Luis Arraez not being on this team next year because of money, I get angry about it.
Yeah, I understand that. I'd love to hear from Padre fans. 70470, start it with team. 877-767-4760 if you want to call us. 877-767-4760. Should he be prioritized higher than what he may be prioritized this offseason? Kevin made a very strong point in that conversation where he said he's not the reason the offense goes. I mean, he basically said that. I don't know exactly what he said, but you guys just heard it.
Yeah, not the biggest.
He's not the number one reason why this offense was among the better offenses in baseball. He's a nice piece, but he didn't have the same impact of Jurickson Profar, Jackson Merrill, Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr. He's fifth or lower on your impact chart for offensive players for the Padres. I probably would agree with that. But then again, 12, 13, 14 million is fourth or fifth anyway, because Manny makes a lot of money and Tani makes a lot of money and Merrill one day might make a lot of money and Profar's due to make $10 million. So what's fair is he does get 13 or 14 or 15 a year. I just don't know if the Padres think that that's how they want to spend their money.
There's a reason why he's been traded the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And I sit here still wondering, like, why? Is it because these baseball nerds and analytics departments are afraid of Luis Arraez to give him this much money because he doesn't hit for power and he is only a guy that mostly hits singles? Well, he's also a guy that will lead the league in batting average. He'll get 200 plus hits a season. I mean, how is that not good in today's baseball? Like, I don't understand that. How the value of a guy that hits for average every single year, a career 323 hitter. It's not small sample size.
No, not at all. You're right. Half a career.
Plays basically every day. Do you have the numbers in front of you?
Yeah. Just what he did last year?
Give me the last 3 seasons.
His last 3
games
seasons,
and average.
2022, 144 games, hit 316 with a 795 OPS, which is huge. 2023, 354 with an 861 OPS, which is like Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah, he was ridiculous 2 years ago or last year.
And then this year, 314, again, half of it with the torn ligament in his thumb and a 739 OPS. Highly productive player in terms of what you're asking him to do. You know what he's capable of doing, and that's what he does every year.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like here's a guy that hits 320. Oh, well, yeah, but every other year he hits 255. And then the next year it's 345. No, he always hits 315 or better. And by the way, he has a little bit of pop in there. Like, for example, this year, 24 doubles. 32 doubles between Miami and San Diego. The year before, 30 doubles. So he'll hit for a little bit of like gap to gap. He's a gap to gap guy as well.
So, all right, let me get this straight. Like, you know those things on television, they're like player A and player B, and like you don't know who they are, right?
Definitely. I love that.
So you're telling me right now that a guy that plays like 150 games a season, he hits 320, 30 doubles, 200 plus hits, average of, that's just round up, 750, 760 OPS.
His career OPS is 790.
Okay, so let's go 790 career OPS there. So that guy right there is somebody that you want to potentially maybe trade or not give a money to, that's around 14, 15 million a year.
You make a compelling argument. Your point is a
that
good
guy
one. No,
in the world of baseball, when it's like praised if a dude hits 210 and has 40 home runs instead of a guy that hits 320, plays 150 games, 790 OPS, and has 30 doubles for you and 200 hits. You want the guy that hits 210 for you rather than that guy?
But if you had 15 million to spend and you could spend it on Luis Arraez or you could spend it on the next Michael King, just making it up.
Yeah, I get it.
Sasaki,
I get
the next Michael King, a trade partner, right? Because they didn't have Michael King last year, and you saw the value he created in 2024. This goes back to the point we made a lot yesterday, which is they don't have infinite resources. They have finite resources. So if they spend 15 on Arraez, what does that mean for addressing Joe Musgrove? And what does it mean for Jurickson Profar? And what does it mean for Michael King extension? And what does it mean for Dylan Cease? So how do you prioritize it is my point. You want Dylan Cease here in 2026, or you want Luis Arraez on a 5-year deal? If it came down to that, those are Sophie's choices. How do you prioritize? And how do you decide? You want Dylan Cease here for the next 4 years, or you want Luis Arraez here for the next 4 years?
Always choose pitching.
Right. See, so
always choose pitching. They chose pitching. They chose Michael King over Juan Soto. Now it worked out, but that's what they wanted. They wanted pitching. They needed pitching.
Yeah.
And they traded Juan Soto, and they got Michael King back, and they did use the pieces in that trade to also trade for Dylan Cease.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at the whole picture, it's like, yeah, they traded away a top 5 player in the sport for 2 frontline starting pitchers. Essentially, that's how it turned out.
Yeah. And that makes sense both ways.
Yeah. And so when you're asking me like, hey, Michael King or Luis Arraez? Well, of course, every day of the week, you're taking Michael King. But
that's the thing. It's like if Aaron tells you we're going to get a new car, 2 cars, like you got 2 cars right now. What do you drive?
A Toyota RAV4.
And Aaron drives?
A Subaru. Yeah, Subaru.
Just a Subaru? That's a brand.
Oh, I don't know. A Subaru.
She drives the whole brand. Let's just
like
call
a,
it
like a kind of like a RAV4 for Subarus, but whatever. I don't know.
So you have two of the same cars.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so let's say I don't even know the point I'm trying to make.
What are you
here.
trying to make?
The point is you like both the cars, right?
I don't drive her car.
But does Aaron like her car?
Yeah.
And you like your car, right?
Yeah.
Let's say all of a sudden now you need to get rid of one of the cars because of finances, because now she works from home. Yeah, it's a tough decision. You both like your cars. That's the same thing with Arraez and Cease. If you only have 20 mil.
Oh, okay.
And one of them's going to get 20 and the other's going to get 20. I'm making it up. That's
yeah.
You can't have them all. Don't you think that applies to the Padres seriously, that they're not extending Cease, King, Arraez, right? Don't you agree with that? They're not going to do all those moves.
No, they're
And
not
Merrill,
going to. No, they they won't. Also, we have to look at that. The conversations that you just brought up about extensions for Cease, King, and Arraez,
right?
Really don't even need to get started until next offseason or middle of next year or wherever, because they're under control for next season.
But not based on what Kevin said, which is they don't have an appetite to pay Luis Arraez $13, $14, or $15 million next year.
Man, I really, 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 really don't want a story to come up this offseason of the Padres are shopping Luis Arraez. I don't. I
wouldn't be shocked by it.
I think this guy, when healthy, when he has like a good thumb.
It's important. Yeah.
We've seen it. We've seen it this year, and he's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Does he hit 50 home runs? No, he doesn't.
No.
But he also does something that nobody else does, which is hit for high average every single year, never strike out, 200 hits, 30 doubles, 790 OPS.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't. I mean, and by the way, if you're going to say, well, his defense sucks.
Not this year.
I don't remember a time this year when he was at first base, we were like, oh my God, I can't believe Luis Arraez defense.
You're right.
So give me the reason why you want to get rid of Luis Arraez. If it's
not
other,
why.
What's the other reasons besides money? If it's just money reasons, then yeah, I'll have to swallow that pill and I'll hate it. But if you're telling me, well, he doesn't do this on the field and this, I'm like, stop it.
Right.
Stop.
Well, again, my last analogy is this, because you're the perfect example for this, because you own every streaming platform.
That's true.
But if Aaron said you have Hulu and you have Netflix and you have Disney and you have Peacock and you have Paramount, and she said, I love them all, but one of them's going to go. It's not because you don't love it. It's because why? Well, Paramount's $16.99 and this one's $11.99. Get rid of $16.99. It's too expensive.
But is the quality of Peacock shows like really good, or
they all have their pros and cons? Probably.
Yeah, they do.
It's just like Luis Arraez. He's a very good player, but there's other Padres that are very good players.
Peacock doesn't walk enough.
Peacock doesn't walk enough.
They don't.
All right, I have a wrestling question for Jim and Brent that I will ask on the other side. Plus, coming up at 3:30, did the media get it right related to San Diego State men's basketball? We're here until 6 p.m. It's Jon and Jim. All right, hey guys, it is Jon and Jim, and this is a great weekend to get over to Jamul Casino. Of course, the NFL in full swing, going on into Week 7. MLB postseason this weekend as well. You can join them every single Monday night as well in October. They've got great promotions going on all football season long.
Yeah, in October, you can have 10 winners every hour at 7 p.m., 8 p.m., and 9 p.m. Your odds, they're better than ever. Their Onyx players will receive an extra $100 in cash bonus on top of their winnings. Plus, you can earn entries all month long by playing and getting 2-time entries on Tuesdays with at least $500 in cash. For all winners, a chance to win up to $25,000.
You're going to love all their food options, including Tony Gwynn Sports Pub, great food and drink. In addition to that, all the TVs you can imagine, an amazing Tony Gwynn memorabilia. And Jamul has endless dining 5 nights a week. Their endless dining options include a Saturday surf and turf buffet. They've gone over the top with perfect combinations of succulent steaks, delectable seafood, and more.
Yeah, as you said, John, Tony Gwynn Sports Pub is a great place to go, not just for the food, but also for the atmosphere, to watch postseason baseball, to watch the NFL. It's just a great place to be. Get to Jamul Casino today. It's fun above all else.
All right, Chris Dodge taking Vegas. Free picks for our listeners. I think he's got an NFL pick and a college pick for us, as he always does. He's been really good. He'll join us at 4:30 off those free picks on the radio. Then Cynthia, Freeland, NFL Network, as we get ready for another week in the NFL. Week 7 kicks off tonight with that big game that everyone's talking about that we'll be breaking down with Cynthia.
I'll buy you lunch if you can guess.
Name one of the two teams.
The game.
It's not Niners. They played last Thursday. I'm going to just name two teams. I think it's going to be Packers Titans.
You're not
let me
even
name
close.
more. I think it's going to be.
You'll never guess it, like ever.
Well, then Patriots.
Nope.
Dolphins.
Nope.
Could it be
The most random matchup.
Bengals Browns?
Nope.
Could it be Raiders Eagles?
Nope. And this isn't a bit, everybody. This
No,
is like
could it be
100% legitimate.
Falcons Saints. I got both of them.
No, you got one.
Falcons, Saints. As I was saying,
There you go.
Saints against the other Buffalo. I don't know. Chargers. Rams.
You're close.
We're going to run out of teams
You were
eventually.
close with the Chargers.
If I'm close to the Chargers, isn't it the Rams?
No. Same division.
It's an animal.
Idiot.
It's an animal. Same division. Chiefs.
No, they play the Niners this weekend.
Wait, Chiefs, Chargers are in a division with the Broncos.
Yes!
As I was saying.
Broncos
It's
Saints.
the Broncos Saints
Good
game.
Chiefs are an animal.
No, I don't know.
Chiefs are not an animal.
Well, I just said Chiefs, not based on the animal part of it. So I got it.
That was legit.
easy.
John had no clue. As did I. I just had to look it up. I had no
That's
freaking
good. You only
clue.
had like 4 teams left in the
We
league.
could talk to
anyways.
Cynthia about it. Although the game will
Yeah.
be going on when she joins us coming
Yeah.
up at 5:30.
It's like, don't get me wrong, I love the NFL, but when you're
Thursdays can be a
when you're
little random.
so heavily invested in Padres
know, just-
baseball,
you're right.
and local sports and local content, and I only watch now on the weekends for the NFL. Like, we'll have the Eagles game on and then the 49ers. So I'm not like watching really anything else, and nor do I really like.
So you won't
dive
just sit
into
around.
it.
You're not Packers, Bears. You're
I'm not
there
sitting there
for
like, dude, I cannot wait until
For
the
Lions.
Vikings Lions game.
Okay. A lot. Most people are though.
Well, actually, that's
you
a
know,
good matchup.
yeah.
But anything
There's
else, like
30
tonight,
million people
Broncos
watching.
Saints, give
Like, in
me
terms of
a
tonight,
break.
when I get home, I'll like Google and see what the score is real quick. And if it's close, I might throw it on in the background. And if it's
Sure.
not close, then I'll
Yeah,
forget that it
yeah, of
even
course.
is happening.
I'll
Yeah.
watch the NLCS 7 out of 7 days of the week tonight over.
Yeah, unless
Don't
that's a
bring that
blowout.
up. Don't bring that up yet. We'll talk. We'll talk.
I
more
didn't
about
mention the teams. I
I
just
know.
mentioned the NLCS.
Who's in the NLCS?
Dude.
We'll talk about that in a moment. So last night we finished off this like 6-part documentary. I think it's called Mr. McMahon.
Yeah, that's his character.
Right. And Brian, have you seen the show? I
No.
know you haven't seen
No,
the show.
I know the story though.
So it's actually really intriguing. You do not have to be a wrestling fan to watch this because we watched it. I haven't watched wrestling basically my whole life, and Kristen's never seen it in her whole life, but we're just intrigued by the storylines, right? The family story, his father, Vince's father, into Vince, into his children. So they're going through this whole story. Brent's going to love this. And it's talking about Hulk Hogan. Yeah, everyone knows, boom, burst onto the scene, whatever it is, 80s, 90s, massive story,
Like how John sounds like
WWF.
a WWE.
Like I
expert
know,
now.
and he's like the champion of the world or whatever he is, and he's fighting people. Then he leaves, which I'm like, okay, yeah, there's another company, WCF or something,
WCW.
Don't help
WCW.
him.
So he goes there.
This
This
is
is the
good.
most ridiculous thing. I told Jim this at a break. I had no idea. I would have lost $100 million if someone asked me, was Hulk Hogan always a good guy? And I would have been like, of course he's always a good guy. He turned bad.
Yeah. NWO.
So they showed how it all went down. It was like 2 other dudes, and then out came Hulk to save the day and like save this wrestler that was on the mat. And then he like pinned this wrestler on the mat, and people started throwing trash.
Mhm.
I couldn't believe it. It shook me to my core that Hulk Hogan became a bad guy. I'm like, what? This American, like Americana guy with the red and the yellow?
That saved his career.
Anyway, that
It's
was my takeaway.
This reminds me of.
So anyway, did you guys know that?
yes, John. I knew that a long time ago before
Yes,
the documentary.
everyone knows
The
that.
more you know.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where you're like, dude, Padres got an expansion franchise. Are San Diego got an expansion baseball team?
Well, is it like a Star Wars thing? Like, oh, this guy's actually good, but he was bad. Like everyone knows, like Luke, I'm your father, or whatever.
Yeah, kind of.
I don't know, but like there were guys in Star Wars that everyone thought they
They're
were good,
guys,
but they were
and
actually
then
bad.
bad guys. You can go back and forth. It's
Yeah.
wrestling.
Okay.
But my point is, I didn't know wrestlers really acted like that.
What do you think?
I don't even know what my
it's a
point is.
story.
I was shocked by it. I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, well, I get this. I've
Why
heard of
is Hulk Hogan
I've heard of The
a bad
Rock
guy?
and this, that, and the other.
Well,
And then here's Hulk, and all of a sudden
to-
he goes to another company and he's a bad guy.
to make you feel better, John.
Yeah.
I'm sure you saw it. Wait, maybe you didn't see it. I don't know if it was in there. But Hulk Hogan returned to the WWE and became a good guy again.
I think that was in there, but it wasn't as intriguing at that point because I just figured.
Well, the moment you were talking about, Bash at the Beach, is one of the most iconic wrestling moments in history when Hulk Hogan turns heel with Razor Ramon and Big Daddy Diesel. Because he was the third member.
Right. That's exactly what I'm saying.
And he leg stomps Randy Macho Man Savage. Leg drop.
So you guys knew that?
Clearly I did.
Okay. It was news to me.
Everybody, breaking news.
Hulk Hogan used to be a bad
turned
guy.
heel and he went to the NWO.
It was awesome. He used to spray paint his beard black.
Really?
Yeah, just the beard part. He'd leave his mustache blonde, and then he'd just do like the stubble like black, so he looked.
I guess it's kind of like
the bad guy.
free agency. It's like Machado was a Dodger.
It happens all the time in wrestling, John. They switch
They
some
switch
good guys
back and
become
forth.
bad
Yeah,
guys.
I didn't realize with Hulk Hogan.
It's for storytelling.
Yeah.
And for, story.
Anyway, that was all.
Okay.
I watched the documentary was really good.
No, it was. I watched the whole thing too. And they were filming it before all the allegations came out against Vince McMahon.
Yeah, like he's not even on the board anymore, right?
Oh, no,
like,
he
sold the
has
company and
no
everything.
part to do. He has nothing to do with WWE anymore.
Yeah.
Nothing. He sold all his stocks, sold all his shares, everything. He's out. He has nothing to do with it. Triple H is like the man in charge now of creative. And if these things turn out to be true and these are horrific allegations, like he's gone. He's gone for not just gone from WWE. Like he's going to jail.
Slammer, yeah, no doubt. Anyway, it's worth watching the documentary. Is my point. And spoiler alert: Hulk Hogan turns bad at one point.
What?
Okay. On the other side, San Diego State Media Day for the Mountain West in Las Vegas. Picked too high, too low, or just right. That's next. Plus, we've got a chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld's Hallow Scream next hour. This is Jon and Jim.
All right, this update's brought to you by Taco Bell. ALCS Game 3 underway right now in Cleveland. Yankees have a 2-0 series lead, but the Guardians are actually putting up a fight. They now lead the Yankees 2-1, top of the 5th inning there in 3 Game 4 NLCS later today. 5:08 first pitch. Mets and Dodgers in New York. Dodgers, they shut out the Mets last night. They have a 2-1 series lead there. And today, Reese Waters was named preseason first team All Mountain West selection, and Farrell Compton was named preseason Mountain West Freshman of the Year. The slow roasted Cantina chicken menu is here to stay with ingredients like purple cabbage and freshly prepared pico de gallo. Try it today at a participating U.S. Taco Bell location while supplies last. Contact store for participation, which varies.
All right, the Aztecs off this weekend. We're doing a full slate of football on San Diego Sports 760. Saturday, South Carolina travels to Norman, Oklahoma. Yeah, well, they take on Oklahoma. Okay. Then Sunday, we have an NFL doubleheader with Eagles, Giants at 9:30 a.m., Raiders, Rams at 1:05. That'll be this weekend. All right, so we were at Mountain West Media Day last year in Las Vegas. We have been there each of the last 2 years, but we're not there right now.
No, we're not.
Spoiler alert. We are in San Diego.
When I saw that this morning, I immediately got like a panic of like,
oh my gosh, we're supposed to be there.
We're supposed to be there?
Well, here's the thing. We are doing a men's basketball related event tomorrow at Broken Yoke, and you can join us by San Diego State. So join us, Broken Yoke, from 3 to 6. Brian Dutcher's on the show, Nick Boyd, the FAU transfer, Miles Bird. So join us tomorrow from 3 to 6. It's going to be a great event. So we're going to be talking, obviously, a lot about the Aztecs tomorrow as well. But today, Jim mentioned his updates. You've got Reese Waters on the first team all-conference list. Farrell Compton, freshman of the year preseason. You also have the predicted order of finish, and you've been saying this, right? I haven't been listening.
Oh, no, I have not been saying it.
You haven't been saying the predicted – you haven't said San Diego State's pick to finish 4th in the Mountain West?
Oh, no. No, I haven't.
What have you been – what's in the update?
I'm not going to tell you.
I want to know what's in the update.
No, you
what got
need to you should have listened to me. No,
Guardians,
you should have listened
Yankees,
to me.
Game 4
you should
coming
have listened to me.
So you're telling me Game 3, Game 4, Farrell Compton, Reese Waters, all appropriate for the update. You couldn't sneak in, and San Diego State was picked to finish 4th in the preseason Mountain West Media Poll? This is what I deal with every day, folks. Okay, so what do we make of this? We knew that San Diego State likely was not going to be picked at the top with all the turnover. Lamont Butler, Jaden Ledee, Elijah Saunders, right? And it goes on. Boise State's returned a lot. Okay, Boise State's picked to win the league. Well, then second, the Aztecs, right? No, New Mexico's second. Well, third, right? No, Nevada's third. Well, fourth, right? Well, yeah, San Diego State is 4th in the preseason poll. What are you laughing at?
I'm just preparing myself for fake outrage.
Are you saying it's fake outrage for me or for you?
No, for
me. It's like legitimate. I can't sleep outrage.
Exactly. Whenever the Aztecs are slighted in any way, you legitimately get upset. For me, I'm trying to prepare myself. All right, Jim.
No, you can say whatever your opinion is. What's your opinion?
This is ridiculous.
No, what's your real opinion? You're paid to offer your real opinion. You don't have to stage it.
I'm peeling back the curtain, John.
What, you lie about everything?
No, but there are certain things I feel like sometimes people, not me, but sometimes people have like these fake outrage segments on stuff that, like the Gold Glove. Give me a break.
Well, we both said the same thing. Give me a break.
Exactly. And
you're saying in general, people have to have a strong opinion, even if it's a dumb topic. Sometimes
this isn't a dumb topic. It's just
right. Well, but it doesn't mean anything. You can be picked 11th and win the national championship.
Yeah, I look at it from this standpoint. Why should they have been higher? Like, why should they have been picked higher in the polls for Mountain West? Why?
Coaching, and culture. Because they've had a lot of turnover over the last 25 years, and they routinely sit at the top of the league.
How many 3-pointers is culture going to hit for you this year?
Well, how many did it hit for him last year when they lost Nathan Mensah, Aguoka Rope, and all the Adam Seiko and all the pieces off a team that was in a national championship, and they ran it back to the Sweet 16?
Well, it was nice to have Jaden Ledee, Lamont Butler.
True, but Jaden Ledee the year before it averaged like 2 and 2.
He averaged actually 7 and 6.
Okay, if that's accurate, I'll believe you. But I mean, still, that jump was significant. That wasn't anticipated in the preseason to that degree.
It was very significant.
So couldn't Miles Bird go from what he did last year to double up his scoring?
We got to see it.
The same thing with Jaden.
I know. They also brought back Darian Trammell. They brought back a lot of the core of the team that went to the Final Four and the national championship game. Yes, they missed Bradley and Nathan Mensah, Keyshawn Johnson,
Cuokoro, Adam
Those are big,
almost 5 of like the 8 or 9 in the rotation.
but still, they returned how many players from the
national
championship
few,
team?
but not a ton. I mean, Miles Bird, Elijah Saunders didn't play on that team.
My point is that this team this year is damn near all new. A takeaway from Miles Bird and Reese Waters, right?
See, yes. Let me just make my quick point here, because you said last year, oh well, they returned Bird and Saunders didn't play the year before.
I know.
So that's what I would say about like Miles Heide and BJ Davis. They were on the team last year. They're still here. No, I'm just saying that it's similar turnover from 2 years ago to 1 year ago and 1 year ago to today is my point.
It's fine. It's okay.
You're fine with it.
I'm okay with it.
You don't want to yell.
There shouldn't be a reason to yell. Picked 4th. Okay, cool. Put that on the bulletin board. There you go. Everyone slided you guys. Picked 4th. I mean, is Boise that was picked number 1 like head and shoulders away the best team in the Mountain West Conference?
No, but to your point, it's about who returns. And they were Tyson Degenhardt, 4th-year player, program guy.
Yeah. So, of course, you have something to legitimately base your opinion off
because
of.
we've seen him in a Boise uniform before.
And for this team, it's like a lot of ifs with and if Miles Bird can make that jump, can Reese Waters take a jump and become this team's leading scorer? Can the transfers they brought in mesh with this program? I don't have any doubt that they will, but can Nick Boyd, can those players, like, how much of an impact are they going to make? Can guys that didn't have much of a role, BJ Davis, can he make a jump? Like, there's a lot of question marks with this Aztec team, a lot of new faces, a lot of new players, but I think, in college sports and college basketball, you don't have the same guys on the team for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And this is the natural cycle of college athletics, and especially basketball. You're going to cycle through players every single year. And Dutch has done a great job in the transfer portal, great job with recruiting. Guys like Magoon Gwath, Farrell Compton. I'm excited to see those guys play, but it's really hard for me to sit here and be like, I can't believe they're not ranked number 1 when there's so many questions on this team. Fair.
Let me listen to this point. Last year, Utah State returned 0 points. They had 0 points returned. They won the league.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's where you're like, well, why would I say that they should be picked higher than 4th? Well, because Utah State's coach apparently was a darn good coach. He's at the University of Washington now, Danny Sprinkle. Brian Dutcher, as we know, is a darn good coach. Like, I'm trusting in what they've built.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, the names and the faces change, but the one thing that doesn't change is they've been in the NCAA tournament 12 of the last 14 years.
Do you have in front of you how many first place votes they got, or is it just say straight up 4th place?
2.
Okay. They're not ranked 10th in the preseason poll. They're not ranked 7th.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right. It's the lowest they've been ranked in 11 years.
Okay. I mean, truthfully,
I wonder who gave him one of those 2 first place votes. I can't think of anyone that would have done that.
Do you have a vote?
It's hard to know. I'm not going to disclose my ballot.
I didn't get a vote unless I missed it in my email.
You probably did. You're probably the reason they're not picked 3rd. Because it's in your spam.
John.
Yeah.
It's okay. Calm down. It's fine.
Well, if it's bulletin board material, I'm good with it.
It's fine.
I'm not mad.
You are mad.
If I was mad, I would have started the show with it.
You are mad. You are a little mad.
If I was mad, I would have gone there before WWF.
You're a little ticked off.
I'm mad that Hulk Hogan was a bad guy.
How about this? You're annoyed.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh God, here we go. I'm
sorry.
Saying, what? I'm sorry. What? Go. Just finish your rant.
I mean, it's just like, trust the process. The process is, here's my point. If Ohio State football had a lot of turnover, they're going to be picked to finish 4th in the Big Ten. Thank you. No, they'll never be picked to finish 4th in the Big Ten. You want to know why? Because they win consistently, no matter who's on the team.
So when they go to the Pac-12 and they're ranked every year like 3rd or 4th, are you going to be upset with that?
I don't know. I'm not looking ahead. They're not going to be picked 3rd or 4th every year in the Pac-12.
Well,
there's Gonzaga in the Pac-12. Everything else is the same,
okay.
right? I mean, it's not like
Well, Boise State. Who else is going?
Boise State's already in the Mountain West.
I know, but they're going to be in the Pac-12, so they'll be ranked ahead of San Diego State.
Not
Who's up?
just
Who
this
else?
year.
Who's the top four? Give me the top four again.
Nevada, not in the new
Okay.
Pac-12.
All right, screw
New
them.
Mexico, not in
Screw
the new
them.
Pac-12.
Okay.
And then San Diego State.
Did you get off your chest?
No, I want a podcast.
Here's the thing. He's being 100%.
That's the thing.
Real
I
guys.
would be more strong on this if you weren't making fun of me.
No, I'm not making fun of you. I'm making fun of, I think, me for potentially going into this like
I'm gonna
serious.
you know what? The bulletin board is gonna be. I'm gonna play it back for the team before the opener against
I
UCSD.
hope you do.
This is what Jim had to say about you guys being picked fourth.
I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna ask Dutch tomorrow. Dutch.
Well, of course you. It's the easiest question in the world.
Yeah. How
Hey, what
mad
do you
are
think
you?
about being picked fourth?
Yeah. How mad are you?
He's
Dutch?
not mad. I've watched interviews with him.
Then you shouldn't be mad.
But Dutch is very measured.
Correct. Well, you aren't measured. when it
I'm
comes to-
measured. I'm measured.
You're measured.
He's
in
more measured.
a lot of things, but when it comes to slights against San Diego State,
I get mad.
you get very upset.
All right, let's turn our attention to the league championship series going on right now in both the American and National Leagues. On the other side, everything we said about Luis Severino turned out to be wrong. So we'll update you on the Dodgers-Mets series on the other side. The wrap coming up at 4 p.m. Chris Hodge, free picks at 4:30. Cynthia Freeland, NFL Network at 5:30. It's Jon and Jim. If you missed our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival, you can now watch the best moments exclusively on Hulu. See the biggest festival headliners from around the world on one stage for one show. Keith Urban, New Kids on the Block, Black Crows, and more. This is the only time you'll see a lot of superstar performers like this on one stage. See all their 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival streaming only on Hulu. Have you been watching the MLB postseason?
Yes.
What's that?
It's gotten a little more difficult after the Padres got bounced. Like as far as like really caring a lot.
I know.
It's to me, it's like background noise. I much rather watch the baseball postseason right now than a random Thursday night NFL football game between the Saints and the Broncos
Tonight.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm not really like super into it. Plus, these games haven't been really good. Last night's game was set up to be good between the Mets and Dodgers, and then the Mets decided they're going to also forget how to hit a baseball like the Padres did.
Well, that's the thing. It's like when you're rooting for something to happen and it doesn't happen, it gets really frustrating.
Like,
and we're watching last night, like, oh, Luis Severino, a really good matchup for the Mets until it isn't. And it's infield hit after infield hit. And once the game's at 3 or 4-0, the game's over. Like, what were the chances the Mets were going to come back in that game? Trailing by 4 runs, the answers were there was no chance that they were going to win that game. And now we're back to where we were after game 1. You're like, the Dodgers are going to the World Series. We'll see. I mean, maybe the Mets even it up tonight and we have some false hope again. But it's like, who's going to beat the Dodgers? I mean, the Mets are now prohibitive underdogs. I guess the Yankees, maybe. But then if the Yankees win it, then Juan Soto's won after the trade.
Why also does the ALCS between the Yankees and Guardians feel like a weekday series in the middle of June?
That's an interesting point.
Because they started at 2:08 in the afternoon.
Maybe
well, that, but even games 1 and 2 in New York felt like a random just game in the middle of the baseball season. It did not feel the intensity, the pressure. Watching it, it didn't feel like a postseason game, let alone the AL freaking CS.
Well, were you watching with volume on or just here in the studio?
No, I was watching with volume on.
I mean, it looks like the ALCS to me. No, what is it? What is it missing?
I don't know. That's the question. What is it missing? Is it the announcers? Is it the
who's calling it? Brian Anderson?
Yeah. Is it because it's on TBS and TBS's broadcast isn't
no,
good?
I mean, we're watching the NL on FS1.
That was ridiculous, by the way.
Where they have Cake Boss on Fox or whatever was on yesterday. Seriously,
Singer show, the
Masked Singer is on Fox while the LA Dodgers and New York Mets are playing on FS1. Like, and that's the other thing. We were going to talk about it next hour, but we can talk about it right here. The ratings in Japan for Game 5 of Padres Dodgers in a nation that's like 1/10 the population of ours. There were higher ratings. There were more viewers in Japan for Padres Dodgers Game 5 than in America.
I wonder why.
Well, I mean, obviously, everyone's enamored with Ohtani, Darvish. There's good storylines with Japanese, but they're playing at like 10 in the morning on a Saturday.
Yeah, it was perfect time. And it's
not better than the time in the U.S. Prime time.
But you had 2 of the biggest, if not the biggest, baseball superstars in one game facing off against each other.
3.
Three. You had 3. Yamamoto, Darvish, Ohtani. Are you kidding me?
Okay, but just let me give you the reverse. Trying to think of what that would be. But like, okay, you have an American superstar. LeBron James has signed with the, name the
basketball team.
Or I guess it's hard. It's just hard to do because all the professional sports at the highest level are played here.
Yeah, well, there's professional basketball leagues in Europe.
Of course there are, but I'm saying the passion that Japan has for baseball runs circles around the passion Americans have for baseball. That's got to be accurate. I mean, Americans love baseball, but they don't love it more than football.
They're not putting up that number if Ohtani, Yamamoto, and Darvish aren't in the game, though. That's the thing.
Well, I know there's a lot of obviously pride.
If you told me that Japan had a 12 share or 12 rating, and all 3 of those guys weren't in the game, I would understand it more. Now, do I think Rob Manfred is a horrible commissioner? Absolutely. Do I think that he has done a horrific job? making sure to promote baseball to America and making it back to where it was. Yeah, I think he's done a horrible job at that. But if Ohtani and Yamamoto and Darvish weren't in the game on last Friday, it's not even been a week yet. Last Friday, you're not seeing those numbers in Japan.
Well, yeah, okay. But listen to this. There were 13 million Japanese viewers for Game 5 in Japan.
Yeah.
Okay, so 13 million viewers in Japan.
It's crazy.
There were 7.5 here.
Baseball in the States is such a regionalized sport now that if you are in the Bay Area or if you're in Texas or if you are in Miami, guess what? You do not care one bit about Padres, Dodgers. I'm sorry. Unless you're a diehard baseball fan.
Agreed. So then we both agree that Japan just is a better baseball market than the U.S.?
But it's better because of Ohtani and Yamamoto and Darvish were in the game.
Well, great. There were a lot of Americans in the game, too. Where were all the American viewers?
And I just said it.
But so we're saying, so you're agreeing, Japan has more passion to watch baseball than the U.S. I think that's accurate.
But I'm using it as like the reason why
is because of Japanese-born players.
Yes. Ohtani is LeBron James over there. It's
But my point is, if LeBron James played baseball, just hear this out. LeBron James plays baseball. Let's say it's Mookie Betts or name Manny Machado or Fernando Tatis Jr.
Well, it's also has to do with the sport as well. The sport is not even
that's what I'm saying
to the global and the climate of people's fandoms like the NBA and the NFL. Right?
Agreed. I completely agree with that. So I guess my point is that Japan's a better baseball market than the U.S. I mean, I don't think it's that controversial, probably.
Probably not.
I think if you rank the most popular sports in Japan, I haven't ever even been there, but tell me if I'm wrong. Someone 70470 start with team. Is baseball not the most popular or second most popular sport in Japan? I would assume it's baseball, maybe soccer, but I'm assuming baseball over soccer.
Well,
it's certainly not American football.
Well, if you had Shohei Ohtani play football instead of baseball, then guess what? Japan is a football country.
Maybe. I haven't done that deep dive.
There's no deep dive to do. If Ohtani
no, I think
plays
baseball is ingrained in their culture.
The most popular professional sports in Japan are baseball, sumo wrestling, association football, and then which is soccer in parentheses, tennis, and golf.
And the thing about baseball in Japan is it's not just Ohtani. They've had
a million.
So many Japanese-born baseball players come to the States that have been superstars.
Yeah. The Nomos, the Matsuis, there's a zillion.
Ichiro.
Yeah, Ichiro, yeah.
So that also has something to do with it. Well, it's not just Ohtani. It's like a
agree
history of Hideki Matsui, who won the World Series MVP. I think.
Yes. Yeah, he did.
Yeah. For the Yankees.
2009.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have just so many Japanese-born players that have made Japan into such a baseball-centric country. And now with Ohtani, who is probably maybe the best of them all, you put him on the big stage with Yamamoto and Darvish, probably two of the best pitchers to ever come out of Japan. It makes it so Japan looks like a better, quote, baseball fandom market than the U.S.
But I think it is. I don't even know if they need Ohtani to be. Because there's a lot of Americans that play baseball that aren't then creating this type of ratings in the U.S.
But the players that are coming out of Japan aren't just nobodies. They're like superstar.
I know, but
players.
Aaron Judge is a superstar too.
Yeah, and I'm sure the ratings in New York are great.
The saddest thing about this is that The Masked Singer has had 12 seasons.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous number.
I guess it probably outrates the MLB postseason, I guess.
Look,
this is like that show in Idiocracy when they just kick each other in the balls.
Yeah. If Rob Manfred is the commissioner of your league is going to fail, or it's going to suffer. It won't fail; it will suffer. And Brent mentioned it, and it's such a good point. Why the hell is your ALCS with the Yankees in it on at 2:00 in the afternoon Pacific Coast?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because the NLCS is on at night, and they flip flop it. Because on Monday the NLCS is on during the day, and the ALCS was at night.
Well, they don't have that problem in basketball for the Eastern Conference and Western Conference finals.
Because they flip-flop days. But you don't want that in baseball because then you could use your same starter 4 times in a series.
So I'd rather have a series.
No, you wouldn't.
I never wouldn't either.
Thank you. All right, the wrap is on the other side. Chris Hodge at 4:30 will join us. Cynthia Freeland, NFL Network at 5:30. Hour 2, Jon and Jim next.
Brought to you by Taco Bell. ALCS Game 3 underway in Cleveland with the Yankees having a 2-0 series lead there. Guardians, they lead this game 2-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning there. Game 4, Dodgers and Mets underway in about an hour from now in New York as the Dodgers hold a 2-1 series lead there. Moving over to Aztecs basketball, Reese Waters today was voted were named to a preseason first-team All-Mountain West selection. Farrell Compton named preseason Mountain West Freshman of the Year, and the Aztecs were voted as the fourth best team in the preseason polls in the Mountain West Conference. The slow roasted cantina chicken menu is here today to stay with ingredients like purple cabbage and freshly prepared pico de gallo. Try it today and participate in Taco Bell location near you.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of Jon and Jim. Chris Hodge will join us at 4:30. Free picks for our listeners in the NFL and college football. Cynthia Freeland, NFL Network, will join us at 5:30. We do have a 4-pack of tickets to give away to SeaWorld's Howl O Scream.
You saying giggity is going to be a drop, by the way.
Giggity.
I just haven't had time to put it in.
That's
yet.
good. I look forward to it.
Giggity.
But
Giggity.
what I wanted to let our listeners know is you now have an opportunity to work on Jon and Jim. If you'd like to be our update anchor, text 70470, start it with team, and tell us why you should be an update anchor above like Jim.
Very little experience needed.
You don't have to know anything other than how to speak occasionally well.
Read above a 4th grade
Jim,
level.
in that update, Jim was like, the Indians today are leading the Guardians. Oh, I mean, the Guardians are leading 2 games. No, 2-1. And they're down 2 games to 1. No, it's 2-0. Switching to baseball. Oh, that is
later
baseball.
tonight. Brooklyn takes on
the Aztecs were picked to finish as the best 4th place team. Like,
That
what?
was bad. Dude, that was bad. That was bad.
The whole thing was awful. Here's my advice for you. If you want to keep the job, which I don't think you do, at least the update part of it, here's my advice. Just write it down. And then the words you write, read them back.
Okay.
And you try to, here's what you do. Sometimes you write it down. Sometimes you wing it. You do a little bit of writing, a little bit of winging.
I wrote it down, but I winged the San Diego State name.
Oh my God.
I'm winging that part. San Diego State.
This is what you have written down.
Okay.
Let me try it. Let me do the update because I never do updates. Do we have a bed?
Okay.
Let's try it. Let's try it in a second.
All right.
Okay.
This is going to make you the new update guy,
No,
by the
it's
way.
not. I'm just going to try to prove a point that may or may not
But
be
I don't
proven.
care about the updates. Continue.
You care about our listeners. All right, this update brought to you by Jim's an Idiot. ALCS Game 3 underway in Cleveland at this hour. The Yankees already lead the series 2-0. And the Guardians are trying to get back into the series. They lead right now in Cleveland in the 6th, 2-1. They're batting with a man at second and no one out. NLCS Game 4 tonight in New York, Dodgers and Mets. Dodgers shut out the Mets last night. They've got command of the series at 2-1. Mountain West Media Day underway in Las Vegas, where Reese Waters was named a preseason first-team All-Mountain West selection earlier today, and Farrell Compton was named preseason Mountain West Freshman of the Year. In the preseason poll, San Diego State was picked to finish 4th. And this update, brought to you by Jim, is a moron.
That was way too much effort for an update. For me. For me.
I know for you.
Way too much information in there.
I don't listen. Am I an update guy? Like, if you want to go behind the curtains,
You are now.
You are now.
Well, I am the update guy.
Congratulations.
But I'm saying,
Congratulations.
am I a sports radio update guy? Maybe not, because if I'm we have a lot of listeners out there. If they want to know the score right now, the Lakers preseason game against Memphis, they're not playing, but they'd ask their phone, or they'd be following it on Gamecast. Or if you're a Padres fan, you probably know the score of the Padres game. If you're a Yankees fan, you probably are watching the Yankees and the Guardians. So, again, 25 years ago, I get it. It's harder to get the information. But the point is we do the updates. So anyway, did you like my update?
It was very good.
Thanks,
It was
man.
a very good update.
Thank you.
Very, very, very well put together update.
Well, you put it together for me.
And then having some things on the fly there.
Yeah.
Your transitions were really good.
Thanks, man.
It was nice. It was great. You want to do the updates from now on?
No, I don't. That's your job. I like just making fun of you.
See, when you do it one time,
oh, here we go.
You're like, dude,
right.
I'm going to nail this.
It's like Tony Gwynn opening day. Everyone could get a hit on opening day. Can you get another? Can you get a hit in every game?
Yeah.
Easier said than done.
You have to have like a consistent 350 batting average.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Yeah, it's hard to go 1 for 3 every day.
It really is. Baseball's hard. Updates are hard.
I think baseball is harder than updates, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right.
You want to get?
Yeah, but going by that standard, only like 1 out of every 10 of your updates would have to be good, and you'd still be batting like
100.
I still be like, it's a good percentage there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 for 10 this week. That's pretty good.
It's
my
fine.
gosh.
Hit 300 this week, guys.
All right,
It's Hall of Fame level in baseball.
Let's get to this.
It's time for the wrap, presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Will the Aztecs finish higher than 4th place in the Mountain West regular season standings?
I think that they're going to be right at 4th place, John. And the preseason polls are going to prove to be true. And then in the Mountain West Conference Tournament, they're going to make a run, and they're going to win once again the Mountain West Conference Tournament championship. And they're going right back to the NCAA tournament. How you doing?
218 on the text line. No, he asked, "Is Jim drunk?" So you think they'll finish in 4th place in the regular season, then win the Mountain West tournament?
Yeah,
which is a good result. I mean, that's NCAA tournament. Yeah, that's not a bad thing.
We know how this Aztecs basketball program operates. They get better as the year goes on, and then once they get to late February and early March, getting into the tournament and getting into the conference tournament, they play their best basketball. So I'm going with that. Like, they have a tough open to their season.
Yeah, but that doesn't have to do with the conference.
No, but that has to do with just them getting better as the season goes on. I get the conference talk because they don't start conference play until what? End of November.
It's like
December?
late December.
Late December, yeah. So I'm
maybe
just
actually early, but whatever.
I'm just looking at a standpoint of the way that their seasons usually go. They get better as the season goes on.
Yeah.
And I think 4th place, 3rd place is like a good place for this Aztec basketball team.
I think that they will exceed their preseason ranking, and I do think they'll get to the NCAA tournament. And I watched about 12 interviews today with Brian Dutcher, and I know he's confident with his group, and I know he thinks they can get to the NCAA tournament. So I'm just going to trust in Dutch to do what he's basically done every year, which is to get San Diego State back to the NCAA tournament. Next question.
Who wins tonight's Thursday night football game, John?
That one? You know who's playing, Jim?
Do you remember?
Saints
and
Broncos.
There you go.
Where's the game?
It's in New Orleans.
Makes sense.
That's in Louisiana.
Yeah.
John looked at me.
Did you see that next year, this is completely off subject, they want to maybe sell a 16-game international package to someone?
Not surprising. They want all the money in the world. More money, the better for the NFL. And if it means to put more teams internationally, they'll do it.
Yeah, let's play games in Canada and
it's
Mexico when you could just play games in San Diego and San Antonio. But yeah, let's put games in China.
I feel like every week they just recycle the same promo for the London
games. Oh, they definitely do.
Because it's
the Jaguars for the 11th straight week.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence lives in London, and they'll take on.
Jaguars are back in London versus the Browns.
Yeah.
The Titans.
Who wins tonight? Saints at home?
Yeah, Saints
at home.
Come on.
I'm with Saints at home.
Yeah. Saints at home.
Yeah.
Stop.
Broncos.
Oh, Broncos on the road.
Oh.
Okay, Broncos on the road. I'll say Saints
Everyone's
at home.
hurt for the Saints.
Yeah, but don't underestimate the power of a home crowd for New Orleans. I think they're good in that building. Right?
Unless they're going to start throwing touchdowns, it's not going to make a difference.
Yeah. Okay, true. Next question.
Should the Padres trade Luis Arraez?
No. They should not trade Luis Arraez. They should keep Luis Arraez for a long time.
Should the Padres trade Dylan Cease?
No.
Should the Padres trade Michael King?
No.
Okay. There's your quagmire. Giggity.
Giggity.
Because there's a lot of guys that they shouldn't trade. I'm with you. I just don't know if they have the cash to avoid all off-season
If
trades.
they have to trade one of those three guys, then they better get something good back. And by the way, the person you're blaming is AJ, because the reason that you would have to trade one of those three guys is because you got other guys on horrific contracts that aren't good.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the problem.
Okay.
Are you worried that we would be in another situation that we were when we didn't trade Hader and those guys when we probably should have with Arraez, to where it's like,
No,
we
because
can keep him, he's going to leave because we
From
can't
a
afford
value
him?
perspective?
no, because
I know we won't get as much back. I just mean in terms of keeping him when you could have traded him, at least got something for him when you knew you weren't going to be able to re-sign him.
the only time that I'm sitting there saying that they'd have to trade off Luis Arraez and Dylan Cease is if at the trade deadline next year they're 10 games under 500.
Mm-hmm.
Then you make the move, but not going into the season because you want to put together still a really good team to compete and win next year to get back to the postseason. So to trade them in the offseason to get just value, I feel like that's a little bit of a punting. I mean, you got to figure this out. You got to stick all the pieces in the right places here, and you got to figure out the jigsaw puzzle.
Well, I think they have done a good job with it, but like there's going to be times where not all the pieces are for this puzzle. Not all these pieces will be here in 2025, and certainly not in 2026. Certainly not in 2026. Next question.
This is rhetorical. Is baseball doing a horrible job marketing itself?
Is the sky blue? Do I suck at updates? I don't suck at updates.
Yes.
No, I don't. Yeah, baseball. It's just to have your championship series
On like CNBC.
better if it was on CNBC, probably.
With the biggest market that
The
they always
biggest
bitch
market.
and moan when it's not
And now they
Yankees.
have them.
Yeah, they
now
don't
have
put it
them.
on TV.
3 of the teams are in New York or LA right now.
now TBS has rights to the CS,
Mhm.
but like FS1 for Game 3, New York Mets,
I
LA
think
Dodgers.
all 7 games, I think, unless maybe it goes to a 7th and then it moves to Fox. Someone would have to look that up. The World Series is on Fox. It's not on FS1.
So all games will be on FS1 for the NLCS. Game 1 of the World Series
It's on Fox.
right now is scheduled for October 25th
It can move up if
It
these
can
series
move
go
up.
5 games or shorter.
on Fox every single day.
Every single. Okay, so that's good. But Jim, they put Game 5 Padres Dodgers on Fox. Remember that?
Yeah.
They made the decision to put Padres Dodgers, and it was a great decision.
Mhm.
They got 8 million viewers or whatever it was, a big number. But you're telling me Game 7 of Mets Dodgers, if it were to go 7, right now is on FS1. Game 7 is on FS1 with like an NHRA racing lead-in, potentially.
And what would be on Fox?
Mass Singer,
Hell's
again,
Kitchen?
or those little like cartoon character shows that they've been showing for forever.
Tell you what, man. I don't know what baseball is going to do, but
I want your fix.
my fix,
You're Mr. Marketing. On the other side, I have a fix too. I want you to have one good marketing idea for baseball. Just one. One really good marketing idea for baseball. Like it could be play the World Series in Tokyo, or put the games on Fox, or get rid of the pitch clock, or this, that, or the other. What's the one thing that baseball should do that would benefit the sport from a marketing perspective? I'll share mine. You share yours. That's next on Jon and Jim. All right, San Diego Sports 760 has 13 chances for you to win $1,000 every weekday. The inflation vacation, listen to the nationwide keyword at the top of every hour from 6 a.m. through 6 p.m. Then enter at sportssd.com. Chris Hodge taking Vegas. And 3 picks for our listeners coming up at 4:30. So he'll join us in about 10 minutes or so. The evergreen conversation of fixed baseball.
Well, baseball doesn't need fixing. They just need it to be amplified more. Like, I think the pitching clock has made baseball so much more enjoyable to watch because the games aren't 4 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
Their average, I think, is around under 230.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, 230, 240.
That, to me, I will give Rob Manfred credit for.
Okay.
100%. The pitch clock has made baseball way more enjoyable to watch. But when it comes to marketing their players, like, it feels as if the only player that they seem to want to market this season, and I mean, rightfully so, is Shohei Ohtani, but I mean, not many other baseball players are even being marketed like him. Now, should other players be marketed like him? Or maybe not, because Ohtani is maybe the best, but I mean, Aaron Judge had a better offensive season than Shohei Ohtani, and he's in New York, and yet I don't see many people talking about Aaron Judge as much as they're talking about Shohei Ohtani, right?
I would agree. I think it goes to your general point that maybe we started the show with, or we've talked about a little bit here this postseason, which is these games are not on networks like the NFL's on right now. No. Occasionally they'll show up on Fox. The World Series is going to be on Fox. That's good. But every NFL game, unless they choose not to, because they're making money putting on Amazon Prime, they're making money putting on NFL Network. But you know where they are on Sunday. They're not on TBS. They're not on FS1. They're on Fox. They're on CBS. I mean, they're on these massive. If I'm baseball, I think before I prioritize the value of my TV rights deal, I'm prioritizing getting my postseason on network television. If I have Shohei Ohtani, he shouldn't be, quote unquote, hidden on FS1 at 2 p.m, which he was on Monday. I've got Shohei Ohtani, and he's, quote unquote, hidden on FS1. I need Shohei Ohtani on NBC or on Fox. And now, to your point, which you didn't advocate for, and I agree with your point, the idea that why are you playing championship series games in the afternoon? Well, because, again, you can't have every other day off like the NBA. But would it be advantageous? Should every championship series game be at night so we can watch Shohei Ohtani in prime time? Because when you play a game at 2 p.m, you're limiting a huge percentage of the audience. Would the NFL ever play a game on a Tuesday at 2 p.m.? They did during the pandemic for some makeup reasons, but the NFL would never be so foolish as to play a game at 2 o'clock in the afternoon during a weekday.
Never.
Baseball is harder because you play it every single day, but I think it starts there. Put the games on network television, put more of the games at night, and drive people to players like Ohtani and Judge. When you play at 2 p.m, it's never going to get anywhere close to the NBA or the NFL.
So I'm just looking up.
Oh, the ratings are crazy if you go back like 40 years, aren't they? It's
ridiculous.
Amazing.
So the highest rated game ever was Game 6 of the 1978 World Series. 44 million viewers.
Mm-hmm.
On average.
This is 1978 World Series. You're saying that's the most viewed World Series game?
Let me rephrase this. In 1978, the average viewership
for the
series was 44 million, and it went 6 games. I read that wrong.
Gotcha.
It went 6 games,
and the average is 44
million,
which is crazy. It's like more than watch the NFL right now.
Yeah, and then you have Game 7 of the 1986 World Series. About the highest it reached was 60 million people, 60 million viewers.
Wow. Okay.
I think it has to do with networks and players and promotion, because in the 90s, these World Series were on NBC. They were on Fox.
Yep.
They were on cable television, like the big time networks. Now, baseball has buried their sport in like the secondary TV networks,
Mhm.
FS1, TBS. Yes, I mean, I remember that this year they had a baseball game on ESPN2. Like, and by the way, they're also going up Sunday Night Baseball a lot of times. They're going up against other
the
sports.
NFL.
And then during the regular season, there's no, I think, urgency from a regular fan to watch Sunday Night Baseball anymore. Sunday Night Baseball used to be the go-to game
Sure.
of the week. John Miller, Joe Morgan. Now I'm like,
Who's calling these games?
I don't care. I just don't care at all. These numbers are insane. The 1990 World Series, John.
So Reds
A's, that only went 5 games, but every game of that series averaged over 28 million viewers.
No, that was a sweep, by the way.
Was that 5 or 4 games?
Reds swept the A's.
Oh, okay. I see here. This is the average amount of viewers. Got it. And then this past year, Rangers, Diamondbacks averaged
How many?
9 million. Not
That's
horrific,
crazy.
but
Horrific.
still compared to what baseball used to be in its peak, like it really went downhill. I mean, early 2000s, like 2009 Yankees Phillies, they averaged 19 million viewers. And then after that, it was like going way down.
Yeah, I mean, it's a problem. I mean, to go from, like you said, 40 million to then 19 million to 9 million last year, where are we heading?
Cubs World Series versus
They
the
had the
Guardians, they
crazy
had
numbers.
22 million. That was the highest it's been in the last decade.
Yeah. All right. Chris Hodge taking Vegas. He will join us on the other side. He's got free NFL and college picks for our listeners. That's next.
All right, this update's brought to you by Taco Bell. ALCS Game 3 underway right now in Cleveland. Yankees have a 2-0 series lead there, but the Guardians lead today's game 3-1 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Game 4, Dodgers and Mets. First pitch about a half hour away in New York as the Dodgers, after shutting out the Mets last night, lead that series 2-1. And moving over to the Aztecs, Reese Waters today was named a first-team All-Mountain West selection. Farrell Compton named preseason Mountain West Freshman of the Year. The slow-roasted Cantina chicken menu is here to stay with ingredients like purple cabbage and freshly prepared pico de gallo. Try it today at a participating U.S. Taco Bell location while supplies last. Contact store for participation, which varies.
All right, Chris Hodge taking Vegas back with us each and every week with free picks for our listeners. Now, Chris, we always appreciate you taking time, and we understand. I know what you're going to say because you're not a Mets guy.
Well, he got the Yankees game on right now.
But he does have Yankees baseball on right now against the Guardians. So you might see the Yankees in the World Series. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Shoot, they might be playing the Mets, although they're down 2-1. So I'm assuming because you're anti-Mets, we've talked about it with your wife, you're rooting for the Dodgers this week. Is that correct?
Absolutely Dodgers fan. And when I was on with you last week, and by the way, my wife is listening right now. She sent me a text last week, and the text read, "Chris, did you really just call me a miserable, classless Mets fan live on radio?" And yes, I did. She's miserable. She's classless when it comes to that OMG thing, which is the dumbest saying in the history of the world. That's for 4-year-olds, and they're plastering it all over the place. So it's just the Mets fans, man. They're miserable people, and my wife is one of them. I call it like it is.
Okay, so we can get into the baseball. First of all, last week you won the free text play with San Francisco. You also won the extra text play Saturday with LSU. So let's get to tonight's game. Thursday Night Football, Denver, New Orleans. Now, this is available for our listeners on the text line. You'll tell us about that in a moment. So how do you feel about this game, and how can our listeners get tonight's Thursday Night Football NFL game?
I mean, it just shows you how fickle the league really is, because after the Saints were 2-0 and they had that very impressive win against Dallas, everyone had this team like, this is the next best team. This is the team out of the NFC, and they haven't won a game since, and they haven't even really played well since. So that's how fickle the league is. They start off 2-0. Now they're 2-4, and a lot of people forget Sean Payton returning home to New Orleans in this game. He was the coach of the Denver Broncos. So you get Denver minus 2.5, totals 37. So if you want this pick for free, we're on a nice little run with these Thursday night free picks. We've hit 3 in a row now. So if you want this pick for free, just text the word WIN to the number 545454. Again, just text the word WIN to the number 54545, where you get this play tonight. And then, as we've done the last couple weeks, you automatically will receive our best bet on Saturday for free as well. So 2 free picks highlighted by Denver and New Orleans tonight.
All right, let's get to college football this weekend. Huge game in the SEC between Texas and Georgia. What's your play there?
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? I understand why they have to do it, but I don't understand, because Georgia has lost to one team in the last 4 years, and that one team is Alabama. It's the only team that's beaten them. They haven't been an underdog in 50 games. The last 50 games Georgia has played, they have been the favorite in some capacity. It could be -1 or -20, whatever, but they've been the favorite. And I'm looking at this, and obviously Texas is number 1, and Texas has a hell of a football team, but I just can't go against a Georgia Bulldog team that has played in so many big games. Their coach has coached in so many big games, and they beat everyone they play with that coach, with the exception of one team. And you look at like what Texas has done this year. When they played Oklahoma last week, that kid was making his second career starter quarterback. When they played Mississippi State, that kid was making his first career starter quarterback. Michigan's quarterback struggled against them. Forget UL Monroe and UTSA. Forget those teams. It's like Texas has done what they're supposed to do, and that's beat the teams on their schedule. But to me, I don't think they're better than Georgia. I think Georgia, even though they lost to Alabama, I think Georgia's the best team in the country. So you're getting Georgia +5, a team that never loses to anyone outside of Alabama. I just think that's giving money away. So I'll take Georgia plus the points. I'll take them on the money line. I mean, until Texas proves they can go beat a team of this caliber, They can't do it, so I'm going with Georgia plus the points.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was +5. So Georgia,
+5 is
it's a
insane.
big number. It's
Yeah,
a big number. Chris Hodge taking Vegas with us right now on Jon and Jim. Again, if you want Thursday Night Football, he's got it for you free right now. Recorded line. Text the word WIN to 545454. That's WIN to 545454. Let's switch the NFL on Sunday. Chiefs and Niners. I forget if they've met before. Oh, they have,
Right.
Jim. In the Super Bowl 2 of the last 3 years.
Thanks.
Jim's going to murder me.
Yeah.
Okay, this is regular season now. How are we feeling in this one? What's your play here? Chiefs visiting the Niners.
So this has been spoken about, I'm sure. I mean, this is a crazy number. Andy Reid is 21-4 in his NFL coaching career following a bye week, which is just an insane number, right? I mean, to coach 25 games in that situation and win 21 of them is nuts. And you look at San Francisco, and you really still don't know what San Francisco is. Okay, McCaffrey's hurt, but they're 3-3, middling. They looked really good against Seattle last week. We used them. They blew that game against Arizona in a game they had no business losing. You know, they're just like, they make you scratch your head. They lost that game against the Rams. They had no business losing it. And San Francisco tends to blow games like no other team. Sorry, I understand, but that's just the way it is. Kansas City, injuries all over the place. You know, they got players, but they just replaced them, right?
Yeah.
But eventually that catches up to you. So from a side perspective, I think this is probably the toughest game to call of the young NFL season so far. This is really hard. That said, luckily for us, we get a total. And I think the total is overinflated. I think at 47 points, I just don't see it get it there. It opened at 50.5. It's been bet down to 47. And if you look at what the Chiefs have done in their last 3 games, they've only allowed 40 points. Okay, the 49ers defense hasn't played well, but they have the ability to play really well at home against an injury-riddled team in Kansas City. And I just think this is going to be a low-scoring game, something like 20-17, either which way. So I think we're getting some good value there with the under, so we'll go under 47.
Chris, is it going to be another bad night in your house with your wife? You know, Dodgers, Mets. Is this series over? Is it going to be more misery for her?
Well, I hope so. The other thing is, you know, and I hate to say this because she does have some nice friends, but, you know, when they all come over, they do these Mets watch parties, and it's just so bad because you feel bad for them. They're just like the kid that woke up on Christmas morning and their parents forgot to give them gifts. Like, that's the way they are. They're so miserable that any little thing that goes wrong, they just want to jump off a cliff. So, I mean, you know, it is what it is. I've been dealing with this forever. I would love the Yankees to play the Mets in the World Series. First of all, unfortunately, if that happens, I'm going to lose half my stuff because we'll end up divorced for sure. But
Right.
I know the Yankees are going to beat them, and that'd be like 2000 all over again. That'd be great.
Well, here's the thing. It's not like we deal with a lot of Dodger fans, so don't get us started with that either. Okay, for our listeners, if you want tonight's game, Denver, New Orleans, you can text the word WIN, WIN, to 545454. All you got to do, recorded line, free pick for our listeners right now. Just text the word WIN, WIN, to 545454. Thursday Night Football, and then Chris will do this again next week. By then, I don't even know. Will the World Series be underway October 24th? Maybe. It depends.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, we'll be closer towards the World Series, and we could talk about that and week 8 of the NFL as well. So thanks as always.
And just not to cut you off, just right during this interview, I get a text, the Yankees are losing 3-1. This girl doesn't even realize they're up 2-0. They can't even count. That's how stupid these Met fans are. It's comical to me.
All right, we'll talk to you from divorce court next week.
Yeah, have a good one.
Thanks,
Have a good one, guys.
Chris Hodge taking Vegas. With us each and every week at 4:30 Pacific here on Thursdays before Thursday Night Football.
That has to be a strong relationship.
Well, listen, you got the Niners-Eagles thing. It played out. Yeah. But again, that's not something that's playing out daily.
I'm not saying like Eagles fans are the scum of the earth, though.
Can you imagine? Well, you guys are newly married.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, you're not going to go that far.
Here's the thing. I admire the hell out of Philly sports fans because I feel like I'm closer to that as a sports fan where like I'm like mad all the time.
Yeah, you are
when
mad.
It comes to sports.
You are mad. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like that feels more like a speed for me that I'm like, okay, I feel at home.
Well, did we go down this path? Like, would you have married you love Erin, so would you have married her if she's a diehard Chargers fan, a diehard Dodgers fan?
It wouldn't even have started if she was a diehard Dodgers fan.
I mean, seriously though?
Dude, yeah.
Seriously.
I would I think before, I mean, if you ask me now, like this
Yeah,
far
well,
in,
you're already married.
we're already married. But if you ask me, like before
You
we
say
started
first
dating,
date if she came out with that blue LA Dodger cap, that LA cap, right?
Mhm.
She's wearing one of those LA caps
Yeah.
on the first date.
Mhm.
Done?
I don't even know if it was started.
You would have just left. You would have just exited
Hard
the
left.
bar.
Hard left.
Okay.
I do the same thing.
Yeah,
If,
well,
if
I
I
know
see someone
Brent
wearing like a
would. I mean,
Packers
Brent's not
shirt, I'll
kidding.
No,
so-
You're
I'm
not
kidding
kidding.
either. I love Aaron more than anything. But,
But
like if
it doesn't run that
before
deep.
it started, like if I'm talking to her and I find out she's a diehard Dodgers fan and her whole
Right.
family's Dodger fans, I would be like,
Right. What if she's like, I hate, or if she like hated the Niners.
and she hated the
It's-
Niners.
yeah. Hated the
I
Warriors.
mean, yeah, it'd be a problem. I
Huh?
mean, it'd be a problem.
Would be a problem.
You don't think it would be a problem? I don't want my marriage to
Yeah,
be like,
no, I get it. It's
no
not
offense, Chris. I don't want my
ideal.
marriage like Chris Hodge.
No offense.
No offense, buddy.
Yeah, no, I understand. There's certain things in households. Like I always am amazed when people have like, if you like hate, if you're rival fans, or there's some things that could get weird in marriage, is my point.
Yeah.
Right? There's some topics that could make it tough.
And it got weird during the NFC title game for sure.
Right, but that's like a one in how
it's
many
a one-off
year thing. Yeah.
I feel like you kind of had to go for me. It's like got to go through it to learn from it, to know that if it happened in the future,
How to make sure it doesn't cost you your marriage.
there's more important things, especially now that we're married and we're together and everything's fine.
But if the kids end up rooting for the Eagles, then what?
That, yeah.
It's hard to predict that stuff. But we can put them in Niners gear and all of a sudden, like, go Eagles.
Yeah, true.
It's hard to predict. All right, call right now if you want a free 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld's Hallow Scream. It's going on right now through November 2nd. This prize is valued at hundreds of dollars. This is 4 free tickets to SeaWorld's Hallow Scream. First 2 callers will be our contestants for trivia. You need to call right now. The number to call is 877-767-4760. Again, a great prize. SeaWorld's Hallow Scream, 4 free tickets. The number to call is 877-767-4760. First 2 callers will be contestants for trivia. We'll do it next on Jon and Jim. All right, hey guys, it is Jon and Jim, and as you know, the NFL is going right now into Week 7 here tonight, so the season's here. It's better than ever, and making picks on Underdog is straightforward, and signing up is even easier. You can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on your favorite player stats like touchdowns or passing yards.
Yeah, just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with promo code Jon and Jim, JONANDJIM, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit tonight, actually. They're giving you this one, John. Higher than a half total passing yard for Bo Nix. You got 30 minutes left to make that play.
So get that play in, that free gimme pick, higher than a half passing yard for Bo Nix. We all feel good about it. Go to the mobile app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with promo code Jon and Jim. That's Underdog Fantasy. Promo code JONANDJIM to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer.
Must be 18 years or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms do apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
a massive season moment. Emmanuel Clase, the almost invincible closer to the regular season, has been far from invincible in the postseason. He's allowed awful big hits, including a 2-out, 2-run game-time home run to Aaron Judge in the 8th inning. They go to him for a 4-out save. He does not deliver. And the Yankees are now even with the Guardians in the 8th inning at 3, trying to completely take control of the series and lead it 3-0. So, postseason, man, you can have the numbers that Clase had. They were absurd in the regular season. Like, he allowed 5 runs all year.
Yeah.
And he allowed 2 runs 2 seconds ago.
Here's the thing. Superstar players do those types of things in the postseason.
Is that a shot?
It's not a shot. It's more
It seems
just
like a shot.
It's kind of just a factual thing of like, hey, if you're a superstar, you gotta do things like this.
So Manny's not?
I didn't say he wasn't. I never talked about
He
Manny.
hasn't done this.
Well, Manny also in the postseason has not been good.
That's what I'm saying. You said superstar players
Need
in
to
the
do
postseason.
superstar things like this.
Right. Bryce Harper, we've seen it.
Yep.
Aaron Judge, we've seen it.
Yep.
Shohei Ohtani, even, again, the numbers haven't been great, but he's had some moments.
He's
and
also-
Machado's had some moments.
This postseason, Ohtani, late in the game, there hasn't been a moment for him
Sure.
yet. But yeah, dude, I mean, I'm looking at Aaron Judge here. He's had an awful postseason, and his numbers in the postseason have not been good either in his career.
But a 2-out, 2-run game-tying home run off Class A?
Must be freaking nice.
Kind of a big moment.
Must
right?
be freaking nice. You know, I don't want to sit here and make it about Manny or about somebody but look, in the postseason, in the future, if and when the Padres reach there again, you're going to need your
That type of
superstar players to have moments like that. End of discussion.
And by the way, yes, Ohtani hasn't been Ohtani, but he has 8 RBIs in 8 games. So he has had some impactful moments for the Dodgers in the postseason.
And guess who was on in front of Aaron Judge because of a walk?
But walks are so overrated.
They're so
What's
overrated.
the value of a walk? Seriously, what's the value of it?
In this case, 1.
Yeah, 1 run is what the value is. Let's get to it. All he does is walk. Come on. Oh my gosh. Stanton is homered. That is unbelievable, by the way. Stanton after Judge
Back to back.
give the Yankees a lead in Cleveland is unbelievable.
Emmanuel
Let's get to
Clase.
it.
Well, it's a good thing
awful.
Chris wasn't on in this segment. He would have been
Oh
worthless.
my gosh.
Wow.
All right, guys. Sticking with the Yankees, Juan Soto hit 41 homers in his first season. Oh, wait. I skipped ahead. Our 2 contestants today is Sean and Brianna. Sean, you called in first. So you have your choice of John or Jim. Who do you want to go with?
I'll go with John.
All right. Sean and John. Brianna, you get Jim, okay?
Okay.
All right. Brent, what is the question of the day?
All right, like I was saying, Juan Soto hit 41 homers in his first season as a Yankee. Today's question, can you name the top 10 home run hitters in Yankees franchise history? So we're looking for the top 10 home run hitters in Yankees history.
All right. Brianna, you're up first. What is your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Derek Jeter.
Ooh,
Derek
I like it.
Jeter. Good guess. On the list. Sean, you're up. What's your
I'm gonna
first
go-
guess? What?
I'm going to go with Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth.
I
think
just
he's
don't know if he hit for power. Oh, he did.
Brianna, back to you. What's your second guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds.
Not with the Yankees.
Not on the list. Sean, what's your second guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Mickey Mantle.
Mickey Mantle. All right. Brianna, back to you. You're going to need this to stay in the game. What's your final guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Lifeline.
Mickey Mantle. Will you take that?
Yeah.
Did he just say that?
Oh, wait. No. Did you say Mickey Mantle?
Who was just said by who? Sean, who did you say second?
I said Mickey Mantle.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
I was-
that.
okay. Yeah.
Sorry. Aaron Judge. You take it?
Yeah.
All right. There you go.
I'll take it.
Boom, on the list. All right, Sean, you could walk it off here with the correct answer. Final guess. You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
I will use my lifeline.
Well, there's a number I'm thinking of, but I'll give you Lou Gehrig.
Sounds good.
Lou Gehrig for the win.
For the win,
Thank you.
Sean's
Ball
there.
game. It is a list that has some of the all-time greats on it, obviously, with the New York Yankees, Ruth, Gehrig, Mantle, Jeter, Judge. Who else, Brent?
Joe DiMaggio, Yogi Berra, A-Rod, Bernie Williams. This one is kind of weird. Jorge Posada.
That's it. Yeah. So how many home runs to be in the top 10 in Yankees history?
Jeter's 10. He had 260.
260 to be in the top 10. And the Padres record was just set under 200, right? From Nate Colbert.
Yes, John.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
It's almost like the Yankees have had more of a history
You think?
than the San Diego Padres.
Do you think a Padre will ever hit 659 home runs?
No, I do not.
No.
But I
What a
do. Now,
freaking
could someone hit
moment,
500? This is ridiculous. What the Yankees just did in Cleveland in the 8th inning is ridiculous. For it to be Judge and Stanton off Class A is a ridiculous postseason moment. And it's being played, to your point, at 4 in the afternoon Pacific, but it is 8 o'clock in New York.
On freaking TBS.
Unbelievable. Sean, you have won a 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld's Howl O Scream now through November 2nd. 5 terror-filled houses, new scare zones and haunts, and death-defying drops with rides after dark, themed food and bars, and the master of ceremonies when all creatures get released. A night you won't dare venture alone. For more information, SeaWorldSanDiego.com. We'll react to Game 3 of the American League Championship Series, discuss what we talked about earlier with the future for Luis Arraez, plus Cynthia Freeland from the NFL Network will join us at 5:30 here on Jon and Jim. All right, what if you could be debt-free by this January? Get rid of all that high-interest debt, pay off all your credit cards, consolidate everything into one lower payment. Hey, guys, it's Schaefer. If you're ready to stop stressing over bills, you need to call Loan Pronto right now. With rates at their lowest in 2 years, this is the perfect chance to use your home's equity and save big going into the new year. Loan Pronto's got rates with APRs in the low fives, and they're getting homeowners hundreds of thousands out of their home's equity. Homeowners who do this save on average $850 a month. Loan Pronto offers a ton of options, including total refis or their express equity lines of credit. So call now, get a rate quote in just minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call today, and you won't make a house payment until 2025. LoanPronto.com or 619-207-4336. LoanPronto.com. Free rate quotes now at 619-207-4336. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
All right, this update's brought to you by Taco Bell. ALCS game number 3 has turned into a classic as the Yankees, as they trailed 3-1 in the top of the 8th inning. Emmanuel Clase coming on for the 4-out save. Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton went back-to-back. Yankees now lead game 3, 4-3 in the bottom of the 8th inning. They already have a 2-0 series lead. Game 4 NLCS. Moments away from first pitch in New York. Mets and Dodgers. Dodgers, after shutting down the Mets last night, have a 2-1 series lead there. Moving over to the Aztecs today, Reese Waters was named a Mountain West Conference first-team selection. Farrell Compton was named preseason Mountain West Freshman of the Year. The slow-roasted Cantina chicken menu is here to stay with ingredients like purple cabbage and freshly prepared pico de gallo. Try it today at a participating U.S. Taco Bell location while supplies last. Contact store for participation, which varies.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Final hour of Jon and Jim. We will have Cynthia Freeland, NFL Network, join us at 5:30 as Week 7 in the NFL gets underway momentarily. That big New Orleans-Denver game that we've been talking about. We've also been talking about
Huge
the
game.
Guardians and the Yankees in this epic Game 3 in Cleveland.
It's turned into a
That
classic.
that the Yankees now lead, as Jim just told you about, and we told you about within the last 15 minutes. The Emmanuel Clase numbers are crazy. So Clase in the regular season, Jim, 5 earned runs on 2 homers. I mean, part of the 5 earned runs he allowed were 2 home runs in the regular season.
He had a
all year.
.61 ERA.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. So 5 earned runs all year in 162 games. He didn't pitch all 162, but you get the point. This postseason, he's allowed 3 home runs. He allowed 2 in 162. He's allowed 3 already in the postseason. He's allowed more earned runs in the postseason than he did in all of the regular season. He's now allowed 6 earned runs in the post. He allowed 5 in the regular season, which just speaks to the craziness that postseason baseball sometimes does provide, like what's playing out right now between the Yankees and the Guardians.
Aaron Judge took a 99-mile-per-hour cutter on the outside corner the other way for a home run. Like,
wow.
What?
I need the John Sterling call, which I now see in my timeline.
Ooh, put in the
Yeah, I'll put in the rundown. Do you know
which one? The Judge or Stanton?
This is
Both?
Stanton go ahead. Okay. This is Stanton go ahead. Now remember, John Sterling, who's I think 88, legendary voice of the New York Yankees, retired in April.
Yankees
He
win.
retired in April. Imagine then these 2 guys take over for him. Okay. And they were doing some side work with him because he wasn't traveling. And then they're like, you know what? These guys are fine, but we need to bring Sterling back for the postseason. They kicked them to the side. The New York Yankees, and John Sterling is back right now for the postseason. The game isn't over, by the way. It's 4-3 Yankees in the 8th.
Runner on second.
Yeah,
2 outs
Cleveland is threatening to tie the scores. So just a classic. And now you made a really good point last segment about, hey, superstar players in the postseason. This is when you kind of prove your worth. Not all players have always come through in these moments. I mean, Mike Trout's barely had an opportunity. He didn't come through that one series. Ohtani is, it's been whatever so far this postseason. But yeah, I mean, to be a true superstar of the game, do you need to come through in the postseason? I think most would say yes. And that's what Aaron Judge just did a moment ago for New York.
And it would be understandable if you didn't have many moments. Like if you just had one postseason like Mike Trout. One series.
Hard. It was 3 games.
You can't be like, Mike Trout's not a clutch player.
Yeah, I don't think that's fair at all.
Not fair at all.
Yeah.
But when you have multiple postseason runs and multiple postseason experiences and your postseason numbers are not good, and I can't remember a big-time clutch 2-out, 2-run homer on the road, top of the 8th inning to tie the game up. Like, I can't remember that at all. From
You're saying from San Diego, or it's from Padres star?
I mean,
It's interesting.
I hate to do it. I hate to do it because he had a great year. The team had a really good season, 93 wins.
Right. But you're going to do it.
I'm going to do it once again. When you needed him to step up and come through.
This is Manny.
Once again, man. Like, I just, is it fair? Probably not, but I think it actually is kind of fair because you're the superstar on this team. You're the Aaron Judge player. You're hitting cleanup in the lineup. If in a late game situation, you're at the plate, runners on, 1 or 2 outs, you got to come through. And all I remember from this past postseason, in the Dodger series especially, is none of that.
So he hit 179 in 7 games. Manny, he had 179 in 7 games, did have 4 RBIs, had a home run and 4 RBIs. As a Padre in the postseason, I haven't done the dive. Can we do the dive? He hasn't had.
No, I remember in 2022, he had a home run in every round, but they were not like impactful home runs. He had an okay postseason in 2022. But when you're going up against Bryce Harper and Bryce Harper puts together that postseason.
Yeah, I almost need to do it. What does he hit as a Padre in the postseason? It's kind of an important stat, isn't it? I mean, in his career, he's hit 215, Manny Machado in the postseason. 215.
Yeah, it's not good enough.
And that's a lot of games.
It's not small sample size.
Not at all.
And if you want to be a team that makes the postseason every single year, which, I mean, I think they have a good shot next year, but the history of this franchise isn't on their side when it comes to making postseason trips in back-to-back years.
Right.
You know, if it's say in the next 5 seasons, John, they make the postseason 3 more times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you going to just every postseason run not come through? I mean, that would be just a horrible look.
Right.
That would be that would be so disappointing to me if in the next 5 years the Padres make the postseason 3 times. I think that's a good percentage. Would you take that right now? 3 trips to the postseason the next 5 years?
Probably.
I would love 5 out of 5. Yeah. But beggars can't be choosers, and we know the history of this franchise. 3 trips in the next 5 years, and Manny continues to hit 200, sub 200 with no Aaron Judge 2-run homer, top of the 8th, 2 outs on the road to tie the game moment, or go ahead home run from Giancarlo Stanton in the top of the 8th with 2 outs on the road.
So here's what he's hit as a Padre. And I don't have the slug and all that.
I was trying to fill there for you to do that.
He's hit exactly what his career is. He's hit 216. He's hit 216, 102 ABs. He's 22 for 102.
Yeah, it's awful.
Now, again, I don't know if he's getting on base at a better clip or if he's hitting for more power. He has hit some home runs in the postseason as a Padre. He has. He's hit 4 in 100. It's actually not a big number. In 102 ABs, he's hit 1 every 25 ABs. It's not a big number.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. Again, when you pay someone $500 million, which is the first deal plus the second deal, right?
Yeah.
When you pay someone $500 million, that's Ohtani-like levels of pay.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to come through. You're gonna be defined not just by regular seasons or by getting teams to postseasons. You got to win in the postseason. You got to help teams win in the postseason. Unfortunately, he hasn't been Bryce Harper. He has not been what Aaron Judge just did there.
And Judge, to be fair,
has not hit in the postseason.
He has not hit in the postseason either. Look at his postseason numbers. They're not good.
Yep.
They're just not. But that was a defining moment that Aaron Judge just had for the Yankees that Manny Machado has yet to have for the Padres in 3 postseason trips.
Mm-hmm.
And how many series? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In 7 total series in the postseason with the Padres, Manny Machado has had, count them, 0 total big-time offensive moments that have impacted this team.
I don't know if it's fully fair because like a Kershaw, first inning home run at Dodger Stadium is a big hit. It's not an 8th inning home run.
And they won the game. You're right.
They won that game. What was his home run this year in the postseason? Was it part of the 6 home run game?
Was it game 2 or game 1? I think it was game 1.
It was game 1, and they lost that game. I don't really think it was his fault they lost that game.
I'm talking about like late in the game, trailing. We talked about it last Friday. And I feel like now we have reached the anger part of, at least me in the last 15 minutes, just seeing what Aaron Judge did.
Right.
I've hit the anger part of the stages of grief with this
So you're
Padres
mad
season.
because of what Judge just did?
I'm just like, why couldn't Manny have done that?
Yeah, but this is like, don't compare your relationship to someone else's relationship when like Kristen's like, why aren't we, look at them. They're like, they're
so happy and we're not.
They're like, they are eating like the greatest dessert ever. Why can't we eat that? I'm like, because I don't like chocolate cake. It's a dangerous spot when you start comparing yourself to others, but it is human nature to compare Manny Machado to Aaron Judge or Fernando Tatis Jr. I'm making up to Shohei Ohtani or whatever.
And he had a great season. Well, let me take that back. He didn't have a great season. He had a really good second half of the season. Manny.
Yeah, the truth is, you're right. He had a 3. And again, this isn't the end all be all. I just looked it up. His WAR was 3.2, which
he didn't play a lot.
Not great.
He didn't play a lot in the field though. First half,
he didn't. Yeah. You're right.
And Manny, as far as like the criticism go for his postseason play this year, got kind of bailed out because the team as a collective whole just went in the tank. It wasn't just Manny. You had Xander Bogaerts also awful. Jurickson Profar did nothing. Luis Arraez did nothing. Jake Cronenworth was pathetic. So
yeah, but that makes it worse.
It makes it worse. But also imagine if the team was hitting, but in game 5 and game 4, they're trailing late in the game, and Manny has an opportunity to come through in both those situations. He doesn't. But yet everybody else is kind of contributing except for him. Then you can you can like be like, okay, that right there. But the team as a whole just forgot how to hit a baseball.
And I'm sorry, because right now Shohei Ohtani is just homered to lead off a game. So you got
must be nice.
Ohtani leading off, hitting a home run, his third, by the way, already of the postseason. You have Judge and Stanton doing what they just did. Big time players come through in big time moments. It doesn't always work that way. But these are the defining games of careers. They just are. I mean, what's the most defining moment of Mike Trout's career? Unfortunately, he doesn't really have one.
Nothing.
Because he hasn't been in postseasons. One time, it's not his fault they didn't win. But, what are the defining moments of careers? Now, Toddy had a 2-home-run game against St. Louis in 2020. He's had some huge postseason moments already as a 25-year-old. But, again, I think when you sign players to $340 million deals and $325 million deals and $280 million deals, you got to win at a high level in the postseason, and you got to be the reason why you win at a high level.
Well, looks like we're probably going to get a dream
Dodgers,
for
Yankees.
Fox. Dodgers,
oh
Yankees.
My God. Huge numbers, reversing the declines we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially. That's where we're heading. We'll hear the John Sterling go-ahead home run call on the Giancarlo Stanton homer that has given the Yankees a lead in Cleveland through 8 innings at 4-3 on the other side. Cynthia Freeland from the NFL Network gets us ready for Week 7 in the NFL. She will join us coming up in 15 minutes. We have Jim's back page ahead as well. This is Jon and Jim. We're here until 6 p.m. Stay with us. All right, so John Sterling called 5,000 consecutive Yankees games. Not missing one. 5,060.
Is that good? I mean, is that?
I mean,
long?
that's a lot, man. You call out for like allergies. So,
True.
like he was there each and every
Yeah.
game. I mean, Ted was like this. Ted called a lot of games in a row. Now he would miss for the Aztecs, but he would, you know what I mean? He would go like a Friday night in Atlanta, fly across country to do an Aztecs football game, fly back across country to join the Padres. And that's just kind of what that's like what the job is. But anyway, John Sterling retired in April, but they brought him back for the postseason because it's the Yankees and he's iconic. And he's on the call tonight in Cleveland with Susan Waldman, I believe. And this was the call of the Giancarlo Stanton home run that put him ahead in the eighth.
Wow. 1-2. Swung on and hit in the air to center field and deep. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Stanton and Judge have hit home runs, a back-to-back and a belly-to-belly. And the Yankees take the lead. Giancarlo non si può stopparlo. He homers and he and Judge hit him back-to-back. And the Yankees now take a 4-3 lead. Is that unbelievable?
That is unbelievable against Class A. And this.
Wow.
That's a pretty good call.
For 80-something years old?
86
years old. 86 years old, I'd be like,
yeah, dude. You'd be yelling about something. You'd be like, Machado would never.
Like, Manny would never do
Stanton
that.
has taken a lead, but Machado would.
Why can't Manny do that?
You should do that stuff for football, John.
Do what?
Danny O'Neill, how does it feel? Touchdown.
No, I'm not a
rhyme and stuff.
I'm not gonna be John Sterling.
You're gonna be John Schaefer.
That's the thing. I can't be anyone other than myself. So, but Sterling, man, he's kind of a one of one.
Give me one. Marquez Cooper, touchdown.
No, do that. I'm not going to do that. You can play a game, but I want you to do so. Ohtani is homer tonight.
Yeah.
Joe Davis, the voice of the Dodgers, is on the call.
Right.
We don't have the call, but let's pretend like you were on the air and you are Joe Davis, and Shohei Ohtani leads off a game at Citi Field with a home run to give the Dodgers a lead.
The 2-1 pitch. Ohtani, high drive to right. Oh my gosh, he's done it. Wow, Shohei Ohtani leads off the game with a mammoth home run to right field, and the Dodgers take an early 1-0 lead. He is incredible. I
don't even know where you went there.
I don't
it
either.
has some Joe Davis in it.
Yeah,
but you also went somewhere else.
It like morphed into something different.
All over the place.
It morphed into something different.
Oh my gosh, that was good.
Ohtani!
There it is. Yeah. He said
high drive to right. Ohtani gives the Dodgers an early 1-0 lead.
He said something about he lights the fire in New York.
He has lit the fire for the Dodgers. Like spitting everywhere, I know.
Oh my gosh.
So someone just turned on the car radio.
They'd be like, Jim's really into the Dodgers right now.
What is happening?
He's so excited.
Like, whoa.
Man, this, like you said earlier, you said 10 minutes ago, this is the wish of Major League Baseball and the executives at Fox. If it plays out the way that it looks like it could play out, Yankees and Dodgers, for the first time in forever, the two largest markets, meeting in the World Series. We've been talking about declining ratings. I mean, it's kind of a worst case scenario if you're a Padre fan, isn't it? And by kind of, it is a worst case scenario. You traded Juan Soto and he's in the World Series. If that plays out, you lost to the Dodgers. They're in the World Series. If that plays out, it's a complete worst case scenario, is it not?
No, it's the worst case scenario.
It's a complete worst case scenario.
It's the worst case scenario.
Now, in that scenario, I'm rooting for the New York Yankees, but I was told how Juan Soto's not a winner. And they're better off without him. How can that be the case if the Yankees win the World Series?
Right.
And then what if the Dodgers win the World Series?
And apparently the Yankees, who desperately needed pitching, were very reluctant to give up Michael King, yet
here they are.
Here they are.
Right.
Enough pitching.
Yeah. Oh, we're not trading Michael King. This was the plan all along because they had enough to get to this point, right? Even without Michael King, who had a great year. Yeah. And the Padres did benefit from having Michael King, but the Yankees are right here.
Do you see, because we were having a lot of like comments in our Instagram page lately.
I've
from
seen some of them.
all Dodger fans
Yep.
mostly. Have you seen the narrative of this whole thing is scripted?
Of course I have.
Such a dumb.
Tony followed the
stupid-
script.
It followed the script.
Yeah.
Stop it, guys.
I don't think any of it's scripted.
Don't be
That naive.
and that moronic to think that sports is scripted.
Well, it's baseball. It's so
It's the
hard.
hardest
How do you
sport to
script
even-
like home runs?
You
You got to
can't.
hit it over the wall.
Do you think Quintana today was like, "Hey, Otani, I'm throwing you a 2-1 fastball at the heart of the plate."
And by the
Be
way, in
ready
the
for it."
bottom of the inning, Mark Vientos, who's like Mr. October, has homered for the Mets. So that game's even.
Oh,
Mark
okay.
Vientos is homered. So there's a lot going on at Citi Field in Queens.
Yeah.
And there's a lot going on, by the way, between the Yankees and Guardians. Not over in the ninth inning with the Yankees leading 4-3.
Yeah, don't.
What a 30 minutes.
Too bad it's not really in prime time.
Well, too bad it doesn't involve
Well,
the Padres.
It is kind of in prime time in New York where they care a lot about.
Dude, if you're a New Yorker, you're right, though. You got Yankees playing out right now. You have Mets playing out right now. I mean, the multiple screens. You got everything going on.
5 o'clock, I guess, is prime time West Coast.
Yeah, honestly, I understand the day game because you have two series going on. What else can you do? I mean, you could put them up against each other.
No,
Yeah, I'm with
not a CS.
I'm with you. I wouldn't put them against each other. So if you're not going to put them against each other, one of them's in the afternoon, one of them's at night. You know, so I understand it, but it's been compelling. It's been really good.
The games have been boring.
I'm saying
Today's the first game of that series. I was like, whoa.
Right.
Dodgers, yeah, that's TBD because game 1 was a blowout, game 2 was a blowout, game 3 was a blowout. So if today's game can be like I don't know, 3-2 game, right? That'd be cool.
Interesting.
Like
Competitive.
you want competitive, compelling. Every pitch is like life and death. Everything is on the edge of your seat. That's what I want.
Because you want, and you might get it. All right, we will switch gears for a moment to talk about this weekend in the National Football League. We typically do it with Cynthia Freeland from the NFL Network on Fridays. This week she's joining us on Thursday. Tomorrow we're talking a lot of San Diego State basketball, getting you ready for the season over at the Broken Yoke on campus or right by campus at San Diego State. So Cynthia Freeland, NFL Network, courtesy of Hamul Casino. She will join us on the other side. Thursday Night Football is also underway at this hour, and Cynthia Freeland joins us next on Jon and Jim. All right, hey guys, it is Jon and Jim, and this is an amazing time of year to get to Hamul Casino. We've been telling you about Hamul. If you haven't been, you need to get there in October. Football season in full swing, and then this baseball postseason really has been terrific. And they have opportunities for you to win with their promotions each and every Monday night here in October. A chance to win big over at Hamul Casino.
Yeah, you can earn entries all month long by playing and getting 2-time entries on Tuesdays with at least $500 in cash for all winners and a chance to $25,000 in cash.
You need to get to Tony Gwynn Sports Pub. You really do. They have amazing food and drinks, all the televisions you could possibly imagine, amazing memorabilia from Tony's incredible career here in San Diego. And Hamul has endless dining 5 nights a week. Their endless dining options include Saturday surf and turf buffet. They're going over the top. They really are perfect combinations of succulent steaks, delectable seafood, and more.
Yeah, get to Hamul Casino today. Tony Gwynn Sports Pub is a fantastic place to watch sporting events like the MLB postseason and, of course, NFL as well. Hamul Casino, it's fun above all else. This update is brought to you by Taco Bell. ALCS Game 3 has turned into a classic. Yankees were trailing 3-1 in the top of the 8th inning. Aaron Judge hit a 2-out, 2-run homer to tie it. Then Giancarlo Stanton hit a home run to give them the lead. Back-to-back homers there in the 8th. And now the Yankees have tacked on in the 9th. They're up 5-3 in Game 3. Yankees also have a 2-0 series lead there. Mets and Dodgers, Game 4 in New York. That game is now tied 1-1. Dodgers hold a 2-1 series lead there. And Aztecs news of the day, Reese Waters was named a preseason first-team All-Mountain West selection, and Farrell Compton named preseason Mountain West Freshman of the Year. The slow-roasted Cantina chicken menu is here to stay with ingredients like purple cabbage and freshly prepared pico de gallo. Try it today at a participating U.S. Taco Bell location while supplies last. Contact store for participation, which varies.
Thursday night football game in studio. We have Yankees Guardians on. We've got the other baseball game on, and then got Amazon Prime. And sometimes we pull up, we haven't pulled up as of yet. So I know it's a scoreless game. We have Cynthia Freeland from the NFL Network, courtesy from Lucas, back with us right now on Jon and Jim. Another weekend of the NFL underway. Cynthia, we always appreciate it here in San Diego. Is it accurate to say like this is an important game for the Broncos? Isn't it on the road trying to get to 4-3? It feels like this is a potential big one for them, maybe more so than New Orleans.
Yeah, I mean, New Orleans, I think something like 30% of their starters were on the injury report, at least for a day this week. So, and many are not even playing in the game. They just lost Rashid Shaheed. There's no Taysom Hill, Chris Olave. Like they're just missing, and they're missing 3/5 of their offensive line. So, yeah, I think that it's a much bigger one for the Broncos, who, by the way, and if you're a fan of the Broncos, meaning you're a fan of the fact that they had a win total of 5.5 ahead of the season, this is a very pivotal one in terms of exceeding that 5.5 number.
So, yeah,
absolutely.
Cynthia, Super Bowl rematch this weekend. My Niners, Chiefs. Chiefs have kind of owned the Niners here in the Kyle Shanahan era, and then the Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes era. Chiefs are also undefeated. Niners are 3-3. I mean, the Chiefs can afford to lose this game, but when you talk about the Niners and their season, I mean, how big of a game is this for them this weekend?
You know, the thing about the Niners is the division they're in, luckily, you know, there's some ways to win in that division. I know that they struggled against they struggled against the Rams and the Cardinals already, but you know, the division overall is down. And I think that there's a number of areas where both teams would want to get a little better with their offenses. I mean, Brandon Ayuk's hold in, we've been talking about it. It's now, you know, past his quote unquote preseason, the number of snaps he would have had if he had played in the preseason or, you know, at training camp. So it's starting to come together. I mean, I think George Kittle is in line for another big day. The Chiefs have a deficiency towards the tight end position, and we know Kittle knows how to find his way into the end zone. I'm concerned about the Niners here for two reasons. One, the red area efficiency. That's an area where I'm a little baffled by, and two, or lack of efficiency. And two, of course, special teams has not been solved yet, which could be the difference maker in a game like this, which forecasts to be very, very competitive.
What is it about Patrick Mahomes this season where you look at the numbers and they're not good? I mean, it's like a middle of the road quarterback when you look at his numbers, but it is Patrick Mahomes. Why is his numbers down this year in that offense?
Well, the funny part is they kind of are doing opposite trends, right? Like we expect Kyle Shanahan a ton of yak, right? In this case, Brock Purdy actually has the highest air yard percentage of his passes, and Patrick Mahomes has the lowest with the most yak. So they're kind of opposites in this way. Part of what's going on with the Chiefs is teams just never give Patrick Mahomes single high safety looks. They just don't. Like it's a stupid thing to do. Teams get, you know, the Ravens tried to do it a little bit. Zach Orr, you know, apparently he took.
Cynthia, you cut out for a moment.
Hit a dead area or went in a tunnel.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you know, teams aren't giving him single high looks. You know, they're keeping everything in front of him on purpose. So that is what the defense is giving him. And, you know, we saw Zach Orr give him a single high look or two, and Xavier Worthy took it to the house. So that is part of what the defense is strategically picking against Mahomes.
Yeah, makes sense. No doubt about it. Cynthia Freeland, NFL Network, back with us here, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. So a couple of pretty marquee trades in the NFL over the last week. what is going to be more impactful, Amari Cooper's new landing spot or Devontae Adams?
I know it's going to sound unsexy to say Amari Cooper might have a bigger impact, but I think this Bills team is well positioned to be a true playoff contender, whereas I'm still a little unconvinced about the Jets. I mean, I saw Aaron Rodgers just absolutely get clobbered by that Bills pass rush that isn't a Bills pass rush of normal years. It's interesting to see kind of of course, the quick passing numbers between Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers cannot be beat. But I don't think the Steelers defense is going to be what the true test of what we're going to see this year from the Jets. I think that the Bills have a higher ceiling, and they added something that makes their ceiling even better, as opposed to the Jets trying to salvage something with a lot of confusion.
Game of the week, I think you also agree. Your Lions and Vikings, Sunday, 10 a.m. here in San Diego time. How big of a loss is Aiden Hutchinson to that defense?
Woo! This is a big loss.
Yeah.
I mean, Aiden Hutchinson, guys in the league that you can reliably say, this guy could easily get me 7-8 pressures a game, like 5.
Oh.
Aiden Hutchinson is a huge part of what they're doing. This defense plays a bunch of man coverage. And when you're playing that much man, you have to really trust that your pass rush is going to get home at least enough for you to be effective and to affect the quarterback. And that will be an interesting one against Sam Darnold, who, except for the Jets game, has looked exceptional against man coverage.
Cynthia, there's a number of awful teams right now in the NFL, and I'm already thinking about like the 2025 draft. I'm not necessarily thinking
Draft
needs,
talk.
but like, New England and Jacksonville. I mean, what are they? The teams that are 1-5 or worse right now, I mean, are they aligning themselves already for like the top of the draft? Or like when Jacksonville plays New England in London at 6 a.m. Pacific, I mean, are these teams trying to win this game, or are they already thinking about 2025?
They're trying to win this game. I mean, Gerard Mayo told us he was gonna switch out some of the starters because he wants to win some games. I think he wants to figure out what he has in Drake May. This is the time to do that. So, we got another bad one coming too, by the way. I shouldn't say that. They're all great games.
They're all perfect.
But the Germany game is Panthers and Giants. So, we're shipping off our, if you like that game, imagine the game you could like when you come watch in the United States. That's the sell.
I love that.
Great sell there. Cynthia, Monday Night Football, Ravens, Bucks. Ravens have definitely righted the ship here after their 0-2 start. Are you considering them like a juggernaut in the AFC?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, the AFC is so funny because there's no middle class of AFC, right? Like there's either these guys who are right at the top, like the Patrick Mahomes Chiefs, the Lamar Jackson Ravens, probably the CJ Stroud Texans. But then you've got like a bunch of bad teams too. And then there's no one kind of in the middle. It just feels like they're either good or bad, right? Whereas the NFC, there's a bunch of teams who like, you could make a case, and a pretty strong case, that the passing touchdown leader in the NFL right now, who happens to be Baker Mayfield, is overcoming a bunch of flaws in his defense. So the middle class in the NFC is very strong. There's no real like amazing teams, and there's a few bad ones, but it's just so different how these two conferences are kind of falling into place.
Who would you take on a neutral field then in the AFC? I'm going to give you a 3-team game, which has never happened in NFL history. But if the Chiefs and Ravens and Texans were all together on a neutral field, I mean, who is the best among these 3 teams right now?
That's a really great question because they're kind of different beasts. I tend to be an O-line lover, and I tend to overfavor, people with really strong run games. So are you saying if you were giving me a fully healthy Chiefs squad, if you were to somehow bring Rashee Rice back, or you were somehow to, whenever Isaiah Pacheco gets back, I would probably say the Chiefs, in part because of they're very, very, all 3 have strong quarterback play, but the running situation and the defense really supports the quarterback very well at that team. However, I actually think when it's all said and done, I would not be surprised at all if the Texans end up with that number 1 seed bye, especially in the division they're in with a bunch of teams who have underperformed.
Jets Steelers on Sunday. Do you think it's a good idea if the Steelers go to Russell Wilson over Justin Fields? I mean, they're 4-2 on the year, and Russell Wilson's now, I guess, healthy. But Do you think that would be a bad move for them to move off Justin Fields and go to Russell Wilson here?
I mean, there's a good analogy from college football last year or 2 years ago or last year or whatever, where, Nick Saban, right? Like he put in all of his second string players and they almost lost to a team that they should have easily won, to kind of be like, you want this? Okay. You were calling for this quarterback change. This is what it looks like. Yeah. And then people were like, oh no, actually go back to the regular starter. So point being is maybe that's part of it, or maybe it's part of like, we agreed to bring Russ over. I'm making good on this promise. Everyone knew it ahead of time. I think there's some like Mike Tomlin being who Mike Tomlin is in this, as opposed to the best opportunity to win the game would be X. I think it's more like, he's a man of his word, and this was his word, so this is what we're getting. I can't imagine that it would be better with Russell Wilson, given what we've seen from this offensive line, and Russell Wilson kind of needing a good O-line and being more of a passer. I mean, Justin Fields, that offense ran at the second highest rate in the league with Justin Fields. So I don't know. Well, I'm curious to see what's going on here. Feels weird to me.
And Najee Harris is also injured. We'll see what happens with his status for this weekend as well. So,
Cynthia, we love the insight as always. We appreciate you doing it. We'll do it again next Friday, as we do it each and every week here during the NFL season. Cynthia Freeland with the NFL Network. And Cynthia, thank you. And we'll catch up next week.
You got it. And I'll text you if you need to turn on the game. If not, you can catch the condensed version tomorrow. You watch baseball.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Thank you, Cynthia.
You got it. Have a good one.
Take care. All right. Cynthia Freeland, brought to you by Jamul Casino 7 Restaurants. Thrilling games and a sports pub voted San Diego's best. Jamul Casino is fun above all else. Wow. The Guardians with a 2-out, 2-run, bottom of the ninth inning home run have tied it up at 5.
Joneski Noel?
Joneski Noel.
Who?
With your typical 2-out pinch hit, 2-run home run.
That was a bomb.
This reminds me a little bit.
Watch this thing, Brent.
Cleveland, Chicago, Rajai Davis.
Maybe a little not as high as the stakes.
Yeah,
that was for the
that was
game
they
7
didn't win
of
the game.
Series.
Yeah, let's hear it. This is what just happened in Cleveland. The Yankees were an out away from a 3-0 lead, leading 5-3.
Oh my goodness! Big Christmas has tied it! The ultimate present under the tree!
What a call.
Oh my goodness!
He slaughtered them.
What was the numbers on that?
It was like 900 feet, 900 miles an hour. It was something good.
Exit velocity, 150.
Something good. Wait, go back. 109 is how hard he hit it.
Oh my!
Which is hard. And I think only 404 feet. I don't buy that. He hit it like into like the 19th row.
480 foot home run.
450. I'm with you.
Oh my!
What a game!
Classic.
What a game!
I love this. This is the type of postseason baseball that I freaking love. Don't give me this 7-3 games.
No.
Give me these back and forth 5-5, 6-5, 7-6 games. Hell yeah.
Big Christmas. We're tied up. Heading to the 10th.
Go. Nothing beats postseason baseball.
All right. Other than Jim's back page, which is next. Oh, what a day of Major League Baseball postseason action. Yankees, Guardians in extras, tied at 5 in the 10th with just unbelievable moments. Then you've got Dodgers, Mets underway at Citi Field. And here we are in San Diego, wishing we were in one of these games. They wouldn't be in the ALCS, I don't think, the Padres, but they probably would be in the NLCS.
How are people watching Bo Nix?
They probably are. Hit us up with the talkback mic. Just open the free iHeartRadio app. Listen to San Diego Sports 760. Tap that little microphone icon next to the button for the 30-second talkback. Us about the Yankees Guardians.
And then right now in the NLCS,
What's the score?
1-1, top third, runner on first, 1 out.
Dude, I'm watching just this thing on replay on my timeline.
Dude,
he hits this thing so hard. Look at how it comes off the bat.
Yeah,
just
I know.
what? Like
Boom.
what?
Hanger.
It was like a bouncy ball off a bat.
This guy was hitting 067 in the postseason, by the way.
Which isn't great.
And he was, and when you listen to the call,
it was amazing.
They are so shocked by it.
They're like, wait, what?
Like,
He hit the ball?
huh? Like, what did this guy do in the regular season?
Well, he didn't hit 067.
Was that was a pinch hit?
That's what I said.
Homer.
I said that. Yeah.
All right, let me just look at this real quick.
That's why he's in the game now.
I know, John. Regular
He had
season,
a nice year.
He had 13 home runs. He had
218, 115 OPS plus, 1 WAR.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's a nice moment.
It's
a big moment.
Big moment for you.
Yeah, it's a big moment.
Big,
Do you want to
big Christmas?
Big Christmas, big moment. Do you want to do a back page?
Yeah.
All right.
One snack food that I love is peanut butter filled pretzels.
I do too, but it makes you really thirsty.
So,
you know, like it's just like stuck in your.
Yeah, but you drink water with it or
Yeah,
something.
I need a lot.
So, they're delicious.
True, I know they're delicious.
Delicious.
You like that more than peanut butter and an M&M?
No, probably not.
No.
I like the peanut M&Ms. Peanut M&Ms. You can't go wrong there.
What's your point here?
Unless you're allergic to peanuts.
My point is Reese's is coming out with a pretzel that's filled with the Reese's peanut butter goodness.
Yeah, okay, I like that.
Yeah, give me some Reese's filled pretzels with peanut butter filling.
That makes sense though, because they have a whole bunch. Because they had the peanut butter covered pretzels that they started like a couple years ago that you can get at the gas stations, and then last year they started was it popcorn?
Peanut butter popcorn?
Yeah, they like drizzled it in chocolate and peanut butter.
Give it to me.
So
and now peanut butter pretzels.
Yeah.
Peanut butter pretzels.
But my theory,
filled pretzels. They already did the peanut butter pretzels.
Just do what you do well. Just put the peanut butter in the chocolate. Stop getting cute. Run the ball up the middle. You know, if you're getting 8 yards a pop, keep running up the middle.
Yeah, but I want the Reese's peanut butter filling in my pretzel. That sounds delicious.
Ashton Genty doesn't need to be doing flea flickers. Just run the ball.
Okay, fine.
This is Reese's going to, London to play at 6 a.m.
What's happening in this game?
What a play.
It's the most ridiculous play.
Oh,
what happened?
No way he's called it.
I think he was out,
He
dude.
was out?
Yeah, he's out.
He's out. Okay. Wow. A couple weeks ago, I talked about Coca-Cola partnering up with Bacardi to make
rum and coke.
Rum and Cokes. Pepsi was like, yeah, we need to do something like that.
Who are they going to partner with?
Partnered up with Captain Morgan.
Okay.
So in early 2025, the Bacardi and Coke launches. And then Pepsi and Captain Morgan is going to be launching as well.
Okay.
So yeah, is he out?
He's out.
He's out. He's out.
The Yankees have a runner at second with 2 outs at the top of the 10th inning in a 5-5 game.
You're like, shut up, Jim.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking. Something about Captain and Coke.
Yeah,
and now someone else in Coke.
Pepsi and Captain Morgan.
Captain Crunch and Coke.
Coke and Bacardi.
Anything you can do, we can do.
Yeah, you can do better.
Okay.
This happened last week, actually a week ago, but I've been keeping it in the back page. Is he out?
Wait, how's he out if he's at first?
He called him safe then, John.
That's how baseball works.
Yeah. Is he
then
safe
how many
or
outs are there?
There's 1 out or 2 outs.
Let's just keep it here.
You want me to just like
all night long?
I'll just
No. Yeah, what were you talking? Why are there two
Anthony
outs?
Volpe?
Wait, so what are you talking about?
It doesn't matter anymore.
Something about McDonald's.
Who cares? We're gonna watch baseball.
All right, so the Yankees and Guardians are tied at 5 in the top of the 10th inning, and the Yankees have runners at first and second, 2 outs. And that's where we are.
Pedro Avila's on the mound for the Guardians.
Right.
Old friend
All
Pedro
worlds
Avila.
are colliding.
They really are.
Well, I think I want Cleveland to win this game. I don't need some 4-game series.
I kind of want Cleveland too, just so we can get more baseball.
Yeah, I want like a 6 or 7 game series. That's not going to happen if the Yankees go up 3-0.
Yeah, you obviously Cleveland needs to win this game or the series is over. But not looking great here. I thought there was only 1 out. Why is there?
Yeah, me too. It's like,
we'll
leave him at first, but there's also an out.
we'll trade
Let's
off
compromise.
Here. Yeah, you get an out.
I have no idea what's happening.
They get a player on first.
I really don't.
Did they like not do it right? Oh
no, they did it right. They know how many outs there are.
Yeah, but did they not change it on the score bug?
That would be awful.
Let me check right here.
There's 2 outs, dude. Right? Look on MLB app.
Yeah, there's 2 outs.
There's 2 outs.
Yeah. The Dodgers have just taken a 2-1 lead in New York.
Of course they have.
They have runners at second and third with 2 outs. What happened here? Who did the damage? Tommy Edman. Double the line drive. To third. Yeah.
All right, we will be at the Broken Yoke by San Diego State tomorrow from 3 to 6, talking some Aztec basketball. Jim will have the omelet challenge with 10 omelets. Join us tomorrow, Broken Yoke by San Diego State at 3 p.m. Brian Dutcher, Nick Boyd, Miles Bird. We'll be talking to MLB Postseason as well. Join us tomorrow at 3 from the Broken Yoke. If you missed anything today, go to sportssd.com. Bottom of the 10th inning. It's 5 game. We'll see more at the Broken Yoke at 3 p.m. for Brent and Jim. I'm John. Keep it here on the TVs. This is